Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report here on a Wednesday. And today we have the Barnes, Tony, and Zach show. A lot of stuff to discuss. And as we see right in front of us, we're all riled. The New York Rangers. It's almost to the point, Tony, where we could start playing the goal song to start the show once again. How you guys doing?
I'm doing great, dude. Like you said, great Rangers win last night. Stoked to be here this beautiful Wednesday, dude. A lot to get to, and yeah, like I said, I'm excited to have Zach here as well, dude.
Yeah, how you doing, Zach?
Good. Excited to be here.
Yeah, just a great time of year for sports. You know, me and Tony, have been talking about just so much, going on, and of course, we got Championship Sunday coming up, and we just had the College Football National Championship. And we're gonna talk about the Baseball Hall of Fame announcements as well. And as we get further and further into the college basketball season as well, UConn hanging on for dear life last night. We'll talk about that in a second.
Oh, yeah, Hurley
but
getting a little antsy,
I have to say, and
Getting
I hate to
tight.
do this, and also I feel like we haven't, I don't know, actually, I'm trying to think, because I was away last week. Michael Butka, because I feel like we haven't heard from him this week. Was he around last week every show pretty much? Or
No, dude. When you're not around, he's not around.
Because it was funny. He and listen, Michael, if you're listening, I'm just having a good time, but I am being serious, but like not like giving you a hard time. But he texted me after the game and was like, just riled for the win. And I was like, Michael, I mean, yeah, it was great that we won, but like they gotta like clean some stuff up. And he just was like, Hurley's got it, man. But it's like, I don't know.
Does he though?
To me, it's just the way that they're playing. It's like they're playing Butler, who's under 500. They're up 15, and it's like they're going to overtime, and they're down, 3 or 4 in overtime at one point, and like winning by a couple. I don't know, man. Like that to me, that's a red flag.
Yeah, no, I mean it's obviously not good, dude. Now, did you see what Hurley said too after the game?
But this game or the other game?
It was this game, right? He was complaining about the refs and the calls and stuff like that.
Okay, I guess I didn't. I had seen when he just called the team soft. Like,
no, dude. And this game too, I forget who he was talking to. It was either one of the refs or one of his players. But he said, "Don't turn your back on me. I'm the best coach in the fucking game."
Wait, he said that to the players, or you don't know who he's talking about?
I forget who. I'm pretty sure it was to one of the refs, maybe.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Because that's what he was complaining about. But it's like kind of like whoa, dude, like take a step back.
It's he's getting too jacked up.
Yeah, he's
and I
getting way
think
too jacked up,
it's
dude.
tough. It almost reminds me of Urban Meyer when he was at Ohio State towards the end, and that's what ultimately led him to going into retirement for a little bit. Is the fact that like they're just so used to winning all the time, barely ever losing.
Right.
And when there's a little adversity, they can't handle it. And he was literally like hospitalized for like chest pains and stuff. And I think ultimately that's why he didn't work in the NFL too, because it's like, he's used to like, okay, it's a terrible year. You lose more than once. And then he's going to the NFL and what is he losing? 4 out of his first 5 games, whatever the case was. It's just like, these coaches, they can't handle it because you get that level of success, and then when it's ripped away from you, it's tough to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it is, dude. Like you said, you're used to winning. You're used to having a certain, I guess, level of expectancy for your team, for your players. And obviously, I mean, not for nothing, the fan base, like UConn has that for him. So I see where he's coming from, but it's also like, I mean, at the same time, like everyone's on the same page. I mean, you say it all the time too. Like when you lose some of your top guys, however many guys they lost, 4 or 5 top guys, like who were, somewhat of like a dynasty there. I mean, it's hard to come back from that. And it's like he has to realize that, and I guess maybe not to expect less from his players, but just expect maybe a little bit more of a I guess, a growing pain or a period of adjustment. I just feel like at that point, that's the part of being a coach. It's part of that job is understanding the mental aspect. And not for nothing, like, you have to do that, dude. Like, you are the coach. You're the leader of the organization. Like, I imagine if I'm one of his players and I'm like in the middle of this, and I'm like, what the hell is going on, dude? Like, this is not conducive for us getting back on track or advancing our level of play or anything like that. So, I mean, obviously, it's far from being, I guess, a major problem, I would say, for UConn. But I mean, you still want to do better, dude.
Yeah, and I think you just, like I was just kind of saying, I mean, you just can't underestimate, though, the difference where I think last year they lost 3 games. They already have 5 losses this year. The previous year, the NCAA tournament, they won every game by double digits. I mean, it's just like, so it makes it feel like right now, almost, I would say, to give it a comparison, and it's nowhere near this because we know how bad that Rangers stretch was, which just really ended, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
But it makes it feel like that. Like it's like the same type of thing, being like the best team the year before, in the regular season, and then just like, having no confidence to beat any opponent. But it's not that bad at the same time because they are 6-2 in the Big East. I think they're top 3 or 4 in the standings. They got 2 games with St. John's, who actually leads the Big East right now, coming up. So those are going to be big. So it's just going to be interesting to see rest of the season, how they put it together. And I think, the injuries have played a part. As well. And I think, too, just even though, like, okay, the overall numbers are good, I just still expected more from Caravan. He's the team captain. He just, to me, feels inconsistent. He choked missing those free throws, that other loss that they had.
Not good. Can't be doing that.
Was that against Creighton?
No, that was before that, I thought.
That was the other loss?
I think it was Villanova.
Villanova.
Okay, Villanova. So you got that. And then, I mean, you also can't underestimate, though, Liam McNeely being out. I think that's huge. But I have to say, like, I find myself, like, confused just in terms of, like, how the rest of the season is going to go. I mean, if I had to guess, like, I would think that they finish, top 3 or 4 in the conference and get, like, 7 or 8 seed and, like, at least make it to the round of 32, ideally like the Sweet 16. I mean, that's just kind of what it feels like. But I'm just curious, Zach. I mean, what do you think? I mean, obviously McNeely coming back is going to be huge, and the team can grow. But just what you've seen, I mean, does this kind of, you feel like, take them out of like the national championship picture, or do you think it's just too early to say that?
I think there's a lot of season left, obviously, but like you said, losing all those key guys last year to the draft it's clearly not the same team as the prior 2 years. I have a few friends who go to UConn too, so I can kind of see like they're kind of getting stressed out.
Oh yeah.
It's just not the same feeling as it's been the last 2 years, and like especially for Hurley. I mean, I know he's known to be
all jacked up
on the sideline, but like this is like different. Like I was watching the game the other day, and he was like in the ref's face for like almost a minute and a half, and
Not good.
I think the refs have a long leash with him because they know he's like prone to doing that. But yeah, definitely, I think he needs to like chill out a little bit.
Well, and it's just crazy though when we really look at this, because it feels like, just because anytime you win back-to-back national championships, like almost like the time period before that, especially if it was like the time period that they had where you're not even like winning tournament games, or you're missing the tournament sometimes. And they hadn't won the tournament since 2014 before their championship 2 years ago. You kind of forget about that stuff. But if you really put it into perspective, the way like this record right now, take away the last 2 years and then you put this year in, everyone would be jacked up. So it's all just a perception team thing. And, when you get to that level, it's like where the Yankees are right now. It's like, it's just championship or bust, or anything short of that. And when you see these signs, losing to bad teams, blowing leads, making bad mistakes, it just takes away your confidence that you're going to be able to get to the level that you were before. I mean, that's the reality of the situation. They certainly can do it, but I look at it as the games against Marquette and St. John's. I think those are going to be a real telltale sign for how their season's going to go. 4 games against really I feel the top 2 teams in the Big East. And the first of those games is going to be in Milwaukee on February 1st. So that'll be a tough game. Before that, they play Xavier and DePaul, and they did beat Xavier and I think DePaul earlier. They haven't. They did beat DePaul earlier. So 2 teams they've already beaten. That I feel like isn't going to tell us anything. But also, I mean, Butler. I mean, they're under 500, one of the worst teams in the conference. If they're struggling with them, why wouldn't I think that there's going to be some struggles in those games? But I think those are the 2 things. It's Marquette and actually St. John's back to back. Twice in 6 days, 2 top 20 teams. I think that is going to be the pivot point of the season.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I think that'll be like the test to see where they really are right now. And like you said, just the last 2 years, I think that sets the standard of championship or bust.
Mm-hmm.
So anything less than that is kind of looked at as a disappointment. So I could definitely see why Hurley is kind of starting to weigh on him. But like you guys were saying, I think they're going through growing pains right now because they lost a lot of key guys. So that doesn't mean that they can't rebuild and get back to where they were. So
yeah, and it's interesting too, like because you get on a little bit of a hot streak like they did after Mouse. You're like, oh, like maybe we're gonna start the run again, but then you lose. You go 2-2 over the last 4, so then you're just kind of thinking like, what's gonna happen. But I have to admit, I mean, going into the season, I was thinking they lost too much. There's no way they're gonna win a 3rd straight title. But I saw them as like a Sweet 16 team, and if you really look at the body of the work, I mean, you could argue what side of that they're on. Pretty close to that right now, I feel. And obviously, I mean, being ranked 19th in the country. And I just hope, because I did see, and that was really right after, they had the Maui debacle. I guess it was their 4th game after that, but like I was, at the Garden for the Gonzaga game. Felt like they really rose to the occasion there. And it's just interesting. I don't know what to think going into those 2 games. The St. John's game, even though, it's a home game for St. John's, I mean, we know the UConn support will be strong there. But I don't know. I mean, I don't. It's like
Johnny's been playing well, no?
No, they have. I hate to say it because I never am like this for my teams, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lose both of those games.
You've been like that for the Jets.
Well, I mean, the Jets aren't a serious team,
but they are one of your teams.
I mean, or at the best a split. I mean, what do you think, Zach? I mean, I know it's like, how do you really know? But just kind of taking a guess at it.
I would say a split.
Yeah.
Yeah, just given the way that they've been playing down certain teams.
Can't be playing down.
Yeah. But I think like it's hard because everybody's like making it out to be this disaster. I mean, they're still a really elite team in college basketball. So it's like, it's not obviously not where you want to be based on the last 2 seasons. But I mean, I feel like as long as you're, ranked in that top group, I mean, you have a chance. It's just hard when you were so good the last 2 years, but yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's just, that just shows, I mean, really how mentally strong all professional athletes and coaches are. I mean, the pressure is like no other, especially when you're playing for a powerhouse.
Yeah.
And I was trying to see if they could give us anything. I mean, it feels like it has to be coming soon. Okay, so I guess they're saying McNeely like end of January. So if they get him back for those 2 games, I mean that'll make a big difference. I mean he's had some big games. He had a huge game, the game I was at, against Gonzaga. So they got to hope for that. And like I said, I think just some more consistency out of Caravan will go a long way. He's the team captain. He's got to be the leader. He's got to set the tone. And you look at last night, 19 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Did have 3 blocks and a steal 8 of 17, though. I mean, that's a lot of missed field goals. And I do feel like when I'm watching, and I don't know if you've seen this, Zach, like close basket shots. It almost reminds me of myself, like with basketball, like just not going up strong enough and just missing like these easy shots or if there's like a little contestment. It just doesn't, it seems like he's backing into these shots rather than leading and going up strong. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that here and there, and like I said, friends are big UConn fans, so they've been.
Have they been though, like talking about him specifically, or
yeah,
no? Like they're kind of tight.
Yeah, they're kind of. They have like little insults for everybody, to be honest, right now. But yeah, he's definitely
one guy I think that is huge and really has been one of the best players on the team this year. Solo Ball. He had 23 last night, 6 rebounds. And also 5 of 10 from 3-point range. So you feel like if he continues to get better, that'll be big. Reed also down low, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 2 steals and 2 blocks. So that's good. And then you just think about adding McNeely to that. So the potential is there. It's all just about putting it together. And we'll see what they look like next time out against Xavier. So that's going to be 3 days from now. So what? That's going to be on Saturday, right?
3 days from now would be on
Thursday,
Saturday.
Friday, Saturday. Yeah. So in Xavier. So I guess that's Ohio, and then home on the 29th against DePaul before those 2 games against Marquette and St. John's. So yeah, I just, wanted to mention that. And obviously we're going to get to, the Rangers, but where I would actually like to start, if we could go to the world of Major League Baseball.
It's deep to left. It's 700. Albert Pujols.
Yeah, what a play! Stop it, Skip. And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Too deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So they didn't announce the Hall of Fame inductees yesterday. Want to get to that, but I just realized we didn't get to the comments. If we want to start with those,
No, I can't believe you forgot about the fans, dude.
I what it was. I watched
UConn.
I watched the UConn game stretch run, and I just needed to talk about it. It was nice too because I know Zach is a little more in tune than you would be, Tony, because you hate basketball.
Yeah, thank God for that. I don't hate basketball.
Yes, you do. Yes,
No, I love the sport, dude. Just the NBA sucks, and I just college sports is just really tough for me to watch. But yes, I mean, if I were to watch, I guess a college sport, it would be, I guess, college basketball, I suppose.
The UConn Connecticut angle, of course. No, right? That's not what it is.
No, it has nothing to do with me not watching college basketball, dude. In any case, though, we have a few comments here. Matthew Gabriel says, "Let's go, boys. Blue shirts finding it a little bit, question mark.
Absolutely.
Absolutely more than a little bit, it seems. And we will certainly talk
the
about
brawl. I know Tony was
the
around for the brawl last night.
Igor, yes, getting physical, dude.
And then the offsides, by the way. I'm gonna start a petition to get that outlawed.
It's never gonna happen.
We'll talk. But no, it's ridiculous. I want somebody
really
to argue.
ridiculous.
I will
Really
argue
ridiculous.
anybody with that till I'm blue in the face. Honestly, I really will. It pisses me off so
I
much.
just don't understand. Like, you don't have a
Utter
leg to stand on.
ridiculous.
It's just a rule,
but
dude.
those 2 goals last night, it had nothing to do with cherry picking. It was so fucking ridiculous. I
Yeah,
swear
but
to God,
it's just
that
the
fucking pissed
rule.
me off.
There's
That
a
pissed me
rule
off,
for
though.
a reason,
it's
dude.
gimmicky. It sucks.
It's
and
not
it needs to be
gimmicky.
changed.
It's the same. It's like offsides at the line of scrimmage in football.
No,
dude.
it's not.
Yes, it is.
though.
It's the
like,
same thing.
It's a sport. That's like you know what it reminds me of. That's like calling offsides on a fast break in the NBA. Like it's like, oh yeah, oh no, he was past the center court line before he got the ball. Bullshit. Like there should not be that. And it's like, so why is there not offsides in the NBA? You could cherry pick every time in the NBA if you want.
People do. People have people halfway on the court. They just toss it to them.
I don't know, man. It irks me. Honestly, I just can't take it.
I mean, whatever, dude. It doesn't matter anyway. Josh B says, "What's up, fam? Rangers and Knicks." He says, "Feels better than 2 weeks
Josh
ago.
B.
That's for sure. Let's have a day." Tommy Donovan also says, "Let's get it, fellas." Igor making some saves, throwing some hands. He was getting pretty tight last night. Certainly, because the Senators were getting in his face. They were tight. They're
Tommy boy.
They have a low mental game. Those Senators players do, almost like Dan Hurley a little bit. I
You
guess,
know
right
what
now,
else
dude.
is hilarious too? Because I was gonna mention these yesterday because you said the hands thing. I think, if I'm not mistaken, but I feel like the hands. It's like because weren't we cracking up saying that about like the short game for golf?
Yes, yes,
It's
dude.
like it's funny
yeah.
how it's for this too.
Michael Theophil, speaking of funny, says he's calling it now when the Knicks don't make it to the finals and lose and players are injured. Tibbs is out. Hurley, the New York Knicks savior, he says.
I wonder what like type of odds you could put on that. I feel like it'd be a good payday, no?
I don't know, dude, but if Hurley ends up going to the NBA, you better call Michael Buck to God. Then Josh Bean here says Barnes, I disagree with you.
But just
immensely,
specifically,
dude.
Josh, just for a second, the 2 goals that were disallowed, I want you to please tell me how that was an unfair advantage and they shouldn't have counted. I would really like to know that, Josh.
Michael says, by the way, inside sources, don't worry. He won't reveal his sources.
Oh, no, sorry.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I want you to go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, dude, I mean, it's an unfair advantage because you're off sides. Like, that's the rule of the game. Like, there's no way around it.
But also,
dude.
too, like, just with those specific plays, I feel like it's like the puck's going back and forth. So it's like, it's hard enough to fucking skate, watch a puck, and then it's like you got to fucking put your feet behind the line before. Like, it's so ridiculous. I would be off sides every single play.
You are in Chell, like, literally, almost every single time. But, I mean, it's just like, I mean, for no pun intended, you have to draw the line somewhere, though. You literally have to have the line.
But I think that line needs to be. I guess
Where
maybe
do
the
you
line
want the
needs
line
to be
in front of the tender.
No, but I think you could maybe just move it then. Maybe move it down because I just feel like there should be more of a gray area around center ice.
But see, now you move that line down, okay? That changes the entire strategy of hockey. I mean, you see when a team will get a puck into their offensive zone, you know, they're in that zone, it's covered by that line. If they go outside that line, they have to regroup. And then if you're moving that line, you're making smaller spaces for offense. You're probably hindering goals or
I don't know, maybe you just take away the line. Because it's like you would say cherry pick. So it's the same thing in the NBA. You cherry pick, but then you're losing a defender on the other side. So it's like, is it really? And
yeah, but it's not.
And that's what we're
not,
gonna do. We're gonna
compare it to basketball.
But I feel like
they score 100 points in basketball.
But you're going up and down a court, or whatever. I know it's not a court; it's the ice. But I'm saying it's the same. You're moving up and down. So it's like, why is it not for that, but it is for hockey?
Because they're two totally different sports.
It just doesn't make sense.
Totally different strategies. You can't.
It really doesn't make sense.
You really can't.
But
take
you
offsides,
can't even give me the. You're just gonna say because he was offsides, but like just those specific goals, it didn't piss you off at all, not in the slightest, Tony.
No, of course it does.
Because it's like we're doing like these slow frames.
As a fan,
it's like you. I don't know. When you were watching, I mean, could you definitively tell? I thought it. I mean,
Rempe was massively offsides, like by more than a foot. He was certainly offsides.
So it was the Khalif goal then, is what I'm talking about.
Kaliev was close, yeah, but he also was offsides, and I mean that's just the rule. And if you don't have that, dude, because they used to not have. I forget what rule it used to be called. It doesn't really matter. But hockey, if you don't have an offsides line, then what? Then your 5 defenders, your 5 players are going to go down to the ice and just defend their goal. And there's going to be no neutral zone play. There's going to be nothing like that.
But see, that's what pisses me off. So it's like we have to have this rule just because players are just going to be rats about it. Like they can't just play the game like how we do now, but just not have the offsides rule. Like, that's what's just really annoying because it would just make things so much better. It's like you have to do that.
It wouldn't make things better, dude. It would make things a lot worse. Like, I mean, I just, because of that exact example, what I just said. They're not going to play as if there is an imaginary offsides line when there isn't. Why would they do that?
And I swear to God, as much hockey as I've watched the last couple of years, I still don't understand it. What is it again?
What, offsides?
Yeah.
So, like, that blue line, the puck, a player can't cross that blue line until the puck does, basically.
But then that means that you can't possess the puck.
So if I have,
or you have to keep it in front of you, and like your skates have to be back, like it's
correct.
What?
Yes, I mean the puck has to enter the zone before you do. If you are in that zone before the puck is, you are offsides, and then once that puck crosses the line, then they blow the whistle for offsides. But if you don't cross it with the line, you have time to get your guy back. But again, that's just encompasses the entire strategy of what it is to play hockey. I mean, removing this offsides rule would just not only change the game, but probably change it for the worse, dude.
I just think last night, those 2 goals, it wouldn't have changed in terms of how good of a game that was. Those specific 2 goals last night, if there was no stupid rule that called it back.
I mean, half the time there's penalties that don't matter, that don't really affect the play, but you still have to call them.
I don't know, man. It's just like one of those things. I can't think it's just utterly ridiculous. I don't know. I just can't. I don't know what it is.
We should we'll play chow. That's how we play chow. We'll take off sides, okay? And then
Well, you
we'll
can
see
do
how
that?
the game goes. Yeah, you can take off sides. Take off every penalty you want. All right.
I'm curious. There's a couple of comments I want to get to before we finally get to the Hall of Fame. But I'm just curious. I know you don't really like watch hockey that much, Zach. But honestly, like, where are you with this at all? I mean, do you think any part of it is stupid, or do you agree with like what they're saying? It's just that's the rule. You don't want people to cherry pick. That's how it has to be. I mean, where are you with it?
Well, I grew up playing hockey, so I feel like it's like a fundamental rule. So you can't take it out. You just can't. And I think like it is for the better. Like cherry picking in hockey would be a mess. So I mean, I feel like it's one of the more important rules in hockey, certainly. So I think to take it out now would be it would completely change everything.
But and also, am I wrong? Because I feel like this happens to me when I play NHL. Is like I feel like you're fighting for possession, and then it's like you get the puck. But because you got the puck and, like, I don't know, your feet were ahead of the – it's just like – that to me, that just doesn't make sense. Like, you're fighting for possession. You have to watch your feet as you're trying to steal the puck? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, it does – from a video game perspective, it does piss me off because I play FIFA as well, and it's the same type of thing. Like, you get a great break, and you finally get through, and it's offside.
But – see, like, but also just throwing out another idea here. But what if the rule was it's the same rule, but if there's not clear possession, there is no offsides. If you're fighting for possession, why that? No, Tony. I mean,
say that again.
If you're fighting for possession, that there would be no offsides.
I mean. But see, I mean that gets a little hairy because if there's no clear possession of the blue line and you're fighting for possession, I mean it's very rare that I feel like there is an offsides called for that. Again, maybe in it's just that scenario doesn't happen in hockey. Maybe in Chell because we're playing a video game, maybe. But I mean, how often do you really see that in an NHL game? Like you really don't. That's because they're professional hockey players. So I don't know. I mean, I really don't think having the offsides rule hinders the game at all. And in my opinion, it's pretty fucking simple to stay on sides in hockey.
But what about when you're fighting for possession, though? You don't think that it gets a little hairy? Like the puck's going back and forth? If
the puck's going back and forth and you find yourself on the on the wrong side of the line, I mean, that's just on you then. If it goes out of the zone...
But it seems like it's stopping you from grabbing the puck. Like, I just feel like that's insane. Like, I don't even know how I would be able to do that. Like, I feel like I would just be going for the puck and not, like, watching I don't know. I don't know. That's what I think that is the thing that should be the, compromise there.
Yeah.
That if you're fighting for possession, I don't think that's that hard to judge. Like, if you clearly possess the puck,
what does that mean though? Like, they have a rule down where it's you need both feet off the ice on the other side of the offsides line. So I can have one skate on one side and I'm on sides. So if you're battling for the puck, you have one skate on one side, one skate on the other side. That's fine. Which again, that's why you don't like again, playing the video game Chell, they don't really recognize that. But in the actual real life game, you see guys. I mean, they toe drag their back skate on the blue line so that they're not offsides. Like that really doesn't happen. How often have you seen that in an NHL game?
But
when
you
they're
know what,
fighting for possession and then they're offsides.
And I know we could go on for this hour, but the one thing that I would say, Tony, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about this, is I don't think anybody could argue though whether your skate, like an inch of your blade, is on a line. Changes like what's happening.
But I mean, I can say that for anything. I can say that for offsides in football. I can say that for false starts in football.
But I feel like it's like
if a receiver does a false start on the opposite end of the field and the pass goes to some other guy, it's still a false start. You got to bring it back.
But
dude.
You know what it is? You know why it's different? The reason
that.
why I think it's different is because football, like, it's not a continuous game. Hockey is a continuous game. That's why it doesn't make sense to me. Like, it would make sense during a face-off. Okay, you're offsides during a face-off. That makes sense. But I feel like because the play is continuous, that's why it doesn't make sense to me.
I guess. I mean, you can make the same case for basketball, though, too. If I punch somebody in the face who's not even in the play, it's still going to be a foul.
But there's no offsides, though. Why is there no offsides in basketball?
Because basketball is stupid. I don't know what to tell you, dude. Like, I mean, you don't need it in basketball because there's probably scoring so much. That's why, dude. And this court is one smaller. There's the same amount of guys on a smaller court. So, I mean, that's probably one. You don't have 3 zones in the NBA. You have the 2 half courts, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, there's backcourts, right? Why do you have a backcourt rule? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
because it's ways to facilitate a certain type of play in the sport. And I mean, again, that's what the offsides line was for back when they really didn't have that. I think it was the 2-line rule is what it was called or whatever that was implemented. But you can't, like, again, they were defending just 1/3 of the ice. Why should I defend the neutral zone when they can just just be in this part of the ice, you know?
I guess, and I know I said the last thing, but this really is the last thing. I still just think it's like goals are an exciting part of the game. And because a skate is an inch off sides, like takes them away, and then we spend time looking at a replay, it just seems like a waste of time to me. And it's just not fun to be watching replay. Oh, is this it? Is this it? And then like you got, Joe Micheletti last night saying, oh, well, usually with these challenges, they only do them if they know they're going to be won. And then, of course, both of them are. And it's just such a shitty feeling. Like you're watching the game, you're all excited, we score, and then you got to sweat out that. And then when he says that, you're just not expecting it to count.
I mean, if you want to see a lot of scoring and people disregard the rules, then watch the NBA, okay? Like, honestly. Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is just, it is what it is, dude. You need the offsides rule. Like, if you don't have it, the entire sport will suffer. And at some point, like, there's no, like, oh, it's just played as possess. Like, there's no way to govern that, especially since how fast-paced the game is. Like, you literally need to draw this line somewhere, and that's where they drew the line. And I think it's a fair offsides rule. And for the most part, it does. Again, like, how many times, like, yes, you see the challenge often, and maybe it'll be overturned. But honestly, like, this is probably the first game in a really long time I've seen 2 goals overturned on offsides calls. You know, like, it doesn't happen very often because they know how to play the sport.
And is it 2 challenges you get or no?
I think it's a challenge. Is it a challenge a period?
I believe so, yeah.
I think it may be a challenge a period, and then if you win it, you keep it.
Yeah.
And if you lose it, you lose it, and then you go on the power play. So again, I mean, in terms of even fucking slowing the game down, the NHL does a great job. Oh, you want a challenge? Well, if you're wrong, you can go on the penalty now. So like that's even something else that, again, you don't see very often because coaches, when it's a close call, I'd rather not take a penalty if this is the wrong call. All right? We got Tommy calling in, by the way. He's probably got something to say.
Yes,
here.
let's get this.
Stand by. Hit the fader yet. Tommy, you're live on the Sports Port, bud. What's going on?
What's up, fellas?
Tommy,
dude, not much.
Just a person I wanted to talk to you about this.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Tommy
I was gonna wait. I thought you were going baseball, but you stayed on this offside thing.
I'm just fired up. I can't help myself.
All right, so Tony is right. The rule needs to exist. But what I don't like is that it should be whistled immediately as opposed to letting a 1:15 offensive zone possession leads to a goal, and then you can review it. That is what I think is absolute horse hockey.
Well,
I agree.
I mean, but then, like, I mean, if the ref just misses it, though, I mean, I mean, obviously last night that's what happened with the Rempe offsides. I think with both of them, honestly, there was obviously a significant possession time and then a goal. But I mean, is it not like Ottawa's team, like going back to look at it to make sure, maybe, like, right? Like, I mean, it wasn't like the refs went back and looked at it on their own, did they?
Yeah, but I mean, like to Brian's point, like I could get it on like a breakaway that leads to an immediate goal and being like, nah, offsides. But for the, Ottawa bench to have 7 tablets out, looking at reviews, and then I just laugh because like I grew up watching hockey on like a 32-inch tube television
right.
where you could barely see anything. It's like how many plays were offsides that nobody ever knew then.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. I mean,
but the rule does need to exist. I like the fact that you have to touch up if the puck leaves the offensive zone. Like I get that. It's just so many plays like but you wouldn't have reviewed that if it didn't lead to a goal.
Right. No, yeah, you're totally right. And they wouldn't have asked for the review, obviously, if you didn't. So I mean, I don't know. It kind of sounds like maybe your gripe is more so with the review process, which. I mean, obviously, back in the day, most sports didn't have it, and you can go through certain missed calls, from way back when, for how long you want to go back. But I mean, is that what you want to stop the whole like the review process?
But if you guys think about it too, and I know it's a continuous sport, but it's like with football, challenging 2 minutes after you've run 4 plays and then you're challenging. That's kind of what it's like, no?
Well, no. I mean,
right, like what Brian's saying, like. An offsides is an offsides in football. You don't wait until you give up a touchdown and then get to review that somebody was lined up in the neutral zone.
Well,
and
I mean,
you can't even challenge offsides either.
Not for nothing. I mean, offsides is a little different, at least for an offense. If a defense is offside, you do get the free play sort of deal. So I mean, again, I think Josh said it before. I don't know when he said it, but he's comparing different sports rules. I think is really dumb because it just doesn't really translate as much, especially when the sports are just wildly different. I guess. But still, I mean, at the end of the day, you can't get rid of an offsides rule. If you want to get rid of like the review process, where it's hey, if they don't call it, I mean, I guess you don't get a challenge. I mean, I feel like that would be kind of tough. Or maybe you're able to challenge it if you want to, but you just can't review it in that real time. But I don't know. I mean, not for nothing. I mean, obviously it happened last night. It's a topic of discussion today. But I just feel like like having that doesn't happen as often as as people as we're making out to be, or people are making out to be, I guess. And not for nothing. I mean, there are times when, again, like Rempe was wildly offsides. Did it necessarily help? Not necessarily, but he still broke the rule. It's something that you should be able to challenge, I guess, right? I mean, the ref should have caught that one at least. But I mean, what are you gonna do?
That one whistled in the immediacy.
Yeah,
because he was like a full body length. Even his body length offside.
Yeah. I don't know. He just didn't. He wasn't able to stop himself, which is whatever, dude. That's him. But still, I mean, I just don't know. I mean, there's just not like I just don't know what like. Again, I know like you're having an issue with people looking at it, taking the time, whatever. Brian has an issue with the entire rule, but I mean, like, what real? I mean, there's no really solution that's going to be
what about,
presented here.
But what about what I said though about like the fighting for possession?
What does that mean though? Like, what does that mean?
I guess like NHL. I mean, Chell.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's what I'm talking.
Like, if
about.
I'm fighting for possession on the blue line, you got like if the puck goes back off sides, I'm gonna follow
to me. I guess what I don't understand about it is like what you're saying about like the skate on the ice. It's like hockey to me doesn't seem like a sport that's a toe tap sport. And it just seems stupid that that's part of it. It doesn't seem like it goes with any part of a game that's very physical, very fast, and it's like it just seems like too like specific, like that it would. It just I don't know. Well, I think it messes up the flow of the game. That's what I honestly think.
I mean, again, they specifically made the offsides line like to facilitate a certain style of play in the NHL, which they think is better for the sport, which I think it is. I mean, I love the way the NHL is played now. I do enjoy the offsides line. I mean, you just got to stay on sides. I mean, it's not. I really don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think it hinders the sport that much. And in terms of the review stuff, like, yeah, it kind of sucks because it's like, yeah, you do go back a minute and a half later of possession time to get off this goal. And it's like, well, you entered the zone wrongly. And, I mean, yeah, it would be cool if that could be more of a snap call. But, I mean, would you rather have refs be maybe too whistle happy and then call play offsides when it wasn't? And then what? Then you get a challenge from the other side of the bench, and then they're taking time there to review it, and then it's not offsides, and then I guess you just stop play for no reason. So it's like, again, I mean, there's going to be pros and cons to everything you change in terms of the rules, and I really do think at this point this is the best thing that they have. Like, there's like, I don't think there's really a better solution.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I mean, I guess like I don't expect Tommy to agree with me on this, but I just like, and it's Kaliev, by the way. Is that
Kaliev?
Kaliev. Okay, Tony's getting a little tight.
No, I'm
just kidding. I'm just kidding. But didn't that piss you off though that goal was called back or no?
Oh, it drove me absolutely ballistic. I was screaming at the television.
Yeah.
But to Tony's point, like you need rules like that to govern certain styles of play. I mean, I go back far enough to you used to not be able to make a two-line pass in hockey.
Well,
so you couldn't, like your goalie or a defenseman have like a breakout assist, from down by the goal line to almost to the far blue line. If it crossed the blue line and the red, it was a penalty or a stoppage of play at least.
Which is crazy. I mean, and that's wild to think about how that play was. And again, you watch some old games. I mean, you see when plays on the other end of the ice, you see the tender like go right up almost to the top of his blue line, like as if he can be almost like a sixth man here, which is pretty wild, dude. So I mean, you can watch hockey through the years. The style of play has changed, pretty dramatically. I think in the past 4 or 5 decades. And I mean, I don't know. I love the way hockey's played now, and I like the way it is now. So I don't know.
Yeah, I guess the one thing I didn't know about the two-line thing, but I guess all I would say is just not saying that it's like regarding like this rule specifically, but I would say if that was once a rule and then it was changed, there is a chance that there could be some amendment to this rule at some point. I don't know.
I mean, possibly. I don't know. I really don't see it. I don't know, dude. I think that, they made the rule changes to the overtime stuff, and I don't know. I can't really see them changing much now. And obviously, maybe Tommy can speak more to that because obviously, again, he was more so dialed into hockey. Before there was a lot of these significant rule changes, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, Brian doesn't like it, but I mean, I think until further notice, dude, you may have to live with it.
Yeah. All right, boys. I'm not going to harp on this all day. Have a great show.
No, you too, dude.
Yeah, no, glad you called in, though, Tommy. That was good to hear from Tommy.
All right, peace.
See you, man. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out there. But I will let it go for Tony's happiness, I think. I mean, you don't even think it's a little funny, Tony? I feel like you're not.
No, yeah, I mean, I guess it is funny.
All right. Anyway, we'll get back to business. So Hall of Fame announcements yesterday.
Big deal.
Really, I would say, one of the stronger classes, we've seen in a while. So we get Ichiro, CC Sabathia, and Billy Wagner. Ichiro obviously was a guy that we knew was going to get elected. But
first time for Japanese for his
first time you're saying?
Yeah, right? I'm pretty sure.
Falling one shot. Oh no, first time ever.
First time ever. Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were saying first time. You know what I mean?
Was it his first year in the Hall of Fame ballot?
I don't think.
I want to say no, but yeah, I know first time just in general, dude.
But he's a guy we all expected to get elected.
Oh yeah.
I have to say though, I think the other two, it wasn't a sure thing. At least this ballot, but possibly even overall.
I mean, I wasn't too surprised about Billy Wagner. I mean, it was his last year on the ballot, so
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So I feel like when when that happens, they kind of like, all right, like we'll kind of let him in, sort of deal. Not to say he wasn't, a great closer, but I mean, obviously had a couple good years, great years with the Mets. But in any case, dude, I mean. Yeah, I guess I wasn't that surprised about him.
By the way, too, before we get back to that, I just looked up. It was, I think, Ichiro's first year on the ballot because he actually played like in the Japanese series in 2019. Right, so 6 years I think is the Hall of Fame thing. But and I think what the thing is with Sabathia, because it used to be, I don't know, say the last 10 or 15 years has changed, but it used to be like wins for a starting pitcher was very important. You really had to have almost 300,
right?
To get in, and 3,000 strikeouts was big. He had the 3,000, but had 251 wins. But when you look at that, I mean, 251 is a ton. He obviously won the World Series, with the Yankees in 2009, and really was just like the model of consistency up until the later stages of his career, and even had a little renaissance some of the last years of his career as well. So when you look at it like that, championship pedigree, what he did with Milwaukee in that second half of the season that year was unbelievable in 2008. And then, won some Cy Youngs with Cleveland. I mean, I think he's worthy. I'm just kind of curious what you guys were thinking there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, again, you want to look at his stats. I mean, he has, towering stats, over 3,500 innings pitched, over 3,000 strikeouts, a career ERA of 3.74. I mean, obviously the World Series 6 times. He was an All-Star. I mean, the Cy Young. I mean, how is he not in the Hall of Fame? Of course this guy's going to be. I mean, the only thing, I don't know if you want to bring in like his personal, but I mean, that's so stupid, dude. I mean, like the stats are there, the impact he had on the team, the impact he had on the sport. I mean, come on, dude. He's a tremendous athlete, tremendous guy to be in the MLB. I mean, yeah, of course this guy should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. No, and I think too, I don't think anybody could argue that he just completely changed that Yankee clubhouse when he came over in 2009, and it was interesting. There was something, I think they interviewed him yesterday. I don't know if it was on Yankee Hot Stove or just MLB Network, but he said he didn't understand the magic that's in the Bronx, and he said he was trying to do everything he could not to play there. He was used to being out on the West Coast, but then of course he realized that right away. But he had such an appreciation for the team, was such a leader, made so many big starts, in that 09 season. And then even after that, 21 wins in 2010, 3.18 ERA, 19 wins through ERA 2011, 3.38 in 2012, winning 15 games and pitching that decisive game 5. Me and Matt always talk about against the Orioles in the division series. And then, struggled a little bit, but had kind of a renaissance if you look at, from 16 to 18 in the latter years of his career, all ERAs under 4. Just was a consistent leader. So I think the body of work is tremendous. And he's the type of guy that you want on your team and representing you. And the fact that you just love the fact as a Yankee fan that he clearly appreciates what it is to be a Yankee. And he said, of course, he will go into the Hall of Fame as a Yankee, which I guess, you would assume, but he did, pitch a lot in Cleveland, but winning the championship usually sways things. What are your thoughts, Zach? Were you expecting CeCe to get the nod?
Yeah, definitely. I know, like you guys said, like the wins aren't, comparable to some other guys, but like the stats are there and just the impact that he had on baseball and the Yankees, especially, I think growing up watching them, CeCe was a huge part of that team, so that can't be debated. He definitely had a huge impact on them. So I think just looking at his body of work, there really isn't much to talk about there. I think he should have definitely gotten in. So it was the right choice.
So you love to see that. And kind of like I already spoke to, Ichiro, we could go through all the numbers, but he was just unbelievable. And really like a once in a lifetime type of hitter. Just the fact that he hit for such a high average, but then even though you look at the body of his work, he never had seasons where he hit a lot of home runs, but it's he could have, but he just wanted to just be on base every time. He was so fast. We all remember his throws from the outfield, absolute darts. God, and the fact that he played for so long, and after coming over from Japan, to get started, when 01, so
27 years old.
27 years old and still have 3,000 hits.
Crazy.
That no one will ever do that again. Absolutely not.
You're right. And not for nothing, 2001, him coming over, talk about setting a trend. For Japanese born players. It was a big deal for them and for Japan and obviously for the MLB as well. And naturally having this guy on the scene, like you said, just not only because of his success, but just the type of person he was, the type of athlete he was. You don't see an athlete like that play until they're 50 very often, and to be competitive. Not for nothing, kind of crazy, dude. And obviously the years in the MLB as well as the Japanese league, it's just it's one of those things where that guy, regardless of his stats, just made such a significant impact on a generation of MLB fans, dude. We all grew up playing the show, playing backyard baseball. Ichiro's in there, dude. Again, like I said, the impact, just like him and CeCe, has been tremendous. Which that alone is admittance into the Hall of Fame. When you have that such an impact on the sport, I think you deserve to be there. And then on top of that, like you said, the 3,000 hits, his play, his speed. It's great. It's really cool to see, honestly, both of them in the same class. To be honest.
Yeah. And also, too, when you group his hits in Japan, he had 4,367, which is just insane. Career 311 hitter, and we know that average would be a lot higher if the later years he was hitting 260 and stuff. So that brought it way down. But having over 500 stolen bases. You mentioned the 10-time All-Star and Gold Glover. That's unbelievable. So well deserved there. Wagner for me is interesting. I think he had a long body of work. Obviously struck out a lot of guys for a closer to have over 1,000 strikeouts.
Ridiculous.
That's a ton. And was highly effective into the latter years of his career. In 2010, he had a 143 ERA, a 231 career, and he also had 422 saves. It seems like there's not a ton of closers in the Hall of Fame.
No.
But what do you guys think about this one?
Listen, like I said, maybe he got a little extra for it being his last year on the ballot, but not for nothing, almost 1,200 strikeouts. That's got to be up there with Rivera, no?
I'll look it up.
I
would
would
say
imagine.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, let me just see.
It could be even more.
Because his strikeout rate was obviously way higher.
And he definitely has way more, like, probably less years in the league, less innings pitched, I would imagine. But still, I mean, like that's
1173. So he was actually
He has more.
23 strikeouts more,
which is wild, dude. I mean, and again, it's not just about one stat, but still, I mean, this guy has a significant impact as a closer for every team he was on. I don't know. I mean, again, you look at the stats here. He was a reliever of the year, 7-time All-Star, never had a World Series. But I mean, I don't know if that is necessarily like I wouldn't take that into a huge account for an individual player, I guess, right?
Well, I feel like baseball is different, really than any other sport. I know it's kind of weighed at some level in the other sports, but I almost feel like for baseball, like it's not even like a thing for the Hall of Fame, right? Or no?
I mean, I don't think it should be, though. I mean,
no, I don't think so either.
Yeah, it doesn't take just one closer or one hitter to win a World Series. Cy Young Awards, I guess, maybe is something you can throw in there. But I mean, again, 7 times this guy is an All-Star, and I mean, he's boasting some great numbers. The strikeouts are up there. I mean, I guess maybe because, again, maybe it was his last year on the ballot. I mean, I guess I can look up more Rivera stats, but I mean, well, actually, yeah. I mean, Billy Wagner, I guess, never led the league in saves or anything. I guess he led the league in games finished and stuff like that before in 03, 05, it looks like, when he was an All-Star. Top 5 Cy Young in 99, top 6 in 06.
400 strikeout seasons.
Which is great. I mean, that's exactly what you want to see. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it's worth. I think he's worth the Hall of Fame induction. I would say yay.
Yeah. And I forgot. Did you say, Zach, that you agree as well on that, or?
Yeah, I'd agree, and I think like you said, like his last year on the ballot, so they're going to give him a little bit of a nudge. But I think his stats are there, and like you guys said, I don't think winning a World Series is always indicative of the level of play for an individual, just given how hard it is. Baseball is really one of the true team sports, so it really takes everybody being on the same page. So I don't think that should like sway people's opinion on your induction.
Especially as a closer too. I mean, he had 16 seasons in the league. If you're lasting 16 seasons as a closer,
massive.
I mean, you're doing a pretty damn good job of it. So there we go.
Yeah. Let's
go Mets.
Congratulations to those guys.
A lot of hometown flavor in this one, dude.
I think, there is.
Yeah.
And it's like, obviously, you're not going to think of him, but Ichiro, two and a half years with the Yankees. So, I mean, he did obviously
was
play
there.
Also, I was going to say, too, before I was just going to ask something, but Wagner, wasn't he at one point, though, like a point of contention? Mets fans were tight or no? Long saves?
I mean, I guess so. But again, I mean, you want to go back into the years he was. You're talking 2006. You're talking about just them blowing it against the Phillies. Willie Randolph, dude.
Wait, actually, we just really quick time out. I don't know if I ever asked Zach this. Do you have this like distaste for Randolph that Tony does?
I believe you have asked me that before. I mean, this is really before my time, so I obviously can't share the same feeling, but because I wasn't, really locked in. I was young, so no, I guess not. Just based on the fact that I really was super young. So yeah.
I mean, you can go back and you can watch some games, you can read some articles. And again, it was even, for me, I mean, I was 10, Yeah. So it was still, young for me. But regardless, I mean, Willie Randolph was a huge scapegoat, I guess you could say. Again, it was like I'm 10 years old and I'm seeing the same September I'm seeing from the Mets for the barring this last season, I suppose. But it's just like, it's like you got to win one game against the Phillies here in September to go in the wild, and you'll get swept, And it was like that was like me being a kid, first experience. Willie Randolph, and then I think even. I want to say after 06, he was still on the team. 07, he ended up leaving, and then even Bobby Wagner was pissed, so he ended up leaving too. Right? I think, I want to say he ended up leaving.
Wagner pitched till he got traded to Boston in the middle of the season, 09.
Yeah, people didn't like that. Okay, and at that point, Wagner was low on the totem pole. He was blowing saves, but again, it was the culture, it was the nonsense that the Mets organization was throwing down here. So what are you gonna do, dude? What are you gonna do? Regardless, dude. I mean, you don't. I still don't blame him. I mean, his numbers were pretty solid. Not his best numbers with the Mets, but still he put in good years, and he did. I mean, not for nothing. What was it? 06? 06. He was top 6 finalist for Cy Young, dude. So, like, let's freaking go.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael, what's going on, bro? We got.
Oh. Should be number 3, I believe. Yeah.
I know Barnes can agree with this. Not many people have their best years with the Mets, so pretty understandable.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Very
Some people
true.
do though. Juan Soto's about to.
And I was gonna
No,
say,
he's not.
I think he already had it.
You know who he reminds me of? Robinson Cano.
Yeah. Yep.
He's on
exactly.
steroids?
Yeah,
He
probably.
might be.
No, he's
And
not.
he's probably not his age.
It
He's
is-
definitely older.
Yeah, he's probably 30.
Yeah,
Tony.
honestly.
It's so
He's
funny
already on
how
the decline.
Type boy Yankee fans are
Type
about
boy
it,
Yankee.
dude.
I mean, I'm actually
you're
excited. We have a better
glazing
team
him
than we've
all
ever
year.
had.
You're
We do.
glazing
And
him.
it's a
We do.
blessing in
Glazing
disguise that he
him.
went to the trash dump Mets.
I can't wait till Max Fried
Absolutely.
tears his Achilles, dude. First outing
he ain't
on the
doing that.
mound, dude. He sucks.
You're jealous.
We could talk
You
baseball
suck.
for,
You're
for
jealous.
3 hours, but because we didn't get to talk to Zach about this, I just want to ask
Cody
two,
Bellinger's getting high in the
two
outfield.
questions that me and
He's
Tony
always looked like that. He's
Tony
always
right
looked
now,
like
dude.
that.
He's
since
always
he was
high.
young.
We're talking a
He
lot
wasn't high
about
when he was 10.
Can you let Brian speak, please? We have a show to do.
a lot about yesterday. So the first one was regarding what the Dodgers have done, and they added with Yates. We broke that yesterday.
It's a good move.
But it seems like the consensus from everybody, and I understand. I mean, the talent, it's unbelievable. We haven't really seen something like this recently. But it seems like the consensus from other fans, no matter what team they're on, is that, like, it's over. Like, the Dodgers are just going to win. Like, everyone's fucked. That's what it feels like. I don't know if you get that sense, but also just my mindset is they're going to be a very good team. But it's like baseball is different than other sports where it's like that doesn't mean that it just put them in the World Series, put them, having that parade. Like it just feels like it's not a definite thing, and other teams are still very good and still could compete with them. That's what I feel, and I'm just kind of curious what you think.
Yeah, no, I think obviously, you could feel the way you want to feel about it if you think it's ruining baseball or whatever, but this is what the MLB is. There's no salary cap, so this is what's going to happen. I think everybody needs to calm down a little bit. I know it's crazy; they keep signing guys left and right.
Ridiculous.
But baseball, like I said, is a true team sport, and it takes everyone being on the same page. And we've seen good teams over the last 10 years who are quote unquote stacked blow it. So it's not
right. Just like the
Dodgers being
I know
one of them.
that team wasn't as good or star-studded.
Can you let Zach
but
talk? Tony? We have a show to do.
They set I think a win record for their team like 3 years ago, and they lost. They didn't win a playoff game.
Yeah, so I think it really depends on how you come out, how you start the season as a team. If you have that chemistry going right off the bat, and I think obviously the Dodgers they have that based on last year, but I just think that it's not a surefire they're gonna win. Everybody just don't.
Like
watch.
you have no chance. You have no chance.
I just think that's stupid in any sport to say that because you really truly don't know.
But just from hearing people talk, I mean, don't you kind of get that consensus?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like being on social media. I mean,
You're on social media?
Everybody's just really pissed off, in the comments and whatnot, saying, this is horrible for baseball and stuff. And it's just like I don't think that's really necessarily true because this is how baseball is. I mean, you can complain about it all you want, but this is how it's been, and this is how it's going to continue to be with the way that players are signed. So, I mean, to say that the season's over, don't watch, is just I don't know. I just think that's kind of dumb.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then the other thing, which is I've definitely had some debates with certain Mets fans, not Tony, or maybe Kev do, but who knows. And Michael was actually kind of mentioning this. And I'll start this by saying, I know that, Soto, I mean, you never want to lose Soto if you have him. We know he's a Hall of Fame player. We get it. Despite, maybe being 30 years old, steroids, and getting a little chunky, right, Michael?
Oh, my gosh, ridiculous.
but,
Bartolo Colon Jr.
Yeah, he's going to get divorced next.
Yeah. He had a great year last year, of course, so you can't argue. I mean, he's one of the most important players on the team. But that being said, just taking everything into account, the other guys that they got rid of, the other guys they added, I feel they have a better team coming up this season, and actually, despite the Dodgers improving, have a better team to, if they were matched up in the World Series, to possibly beat them. And I'm just kind of curious what you think about that.
Yeah, I think the Yankees, no offense, but last year, like going up against the Dodgers, I think the consensus is that they were super top heavy with hitting. And I think now, like, yeah, definitely, I think they have a way better chance to compete just based on the moves that they've made, just because they have so much more depth now, you know? So.
Yeah. And I talk about this all the time, but just not having to have Rizzo worrying about making mistakes in the field, never getting a hit, just not hitting at all.
Yeah.
Verdugo, same thing. And then, just you're adding Dominguez, your Bellinger, should be pretty good. Just having Volpe and Wells another year in the league, and Wells his first year as a starter. I just think the younger guys really are going to be the key to how well they're going to do this year. But I just think overall, I mean, there's really not many holes in the lineup. Obviously, the one thing that I would be disgusted with is if they actually think there's some type of chance that DJ LeMahieu starts at third base. But as long as they start Peraza or Cabrera or Vivas, I'm fine with that. But it's just LeMahieu. I mean, I've never seen something so sure. Like I feel like there is a 0% chance that he could even hit 250 if he was playing regularly. I mean, I've never seen somebody just he's done. I mean, there's just no chance that he's anything, right? I mean,
yeah, I think based on last year, you gotta move forward, and like I think like. He was like the prime example of like a lot of Yankees last year. They just go on these massive hitting slumps and they just could not get out of their own way. So it's like you just can't have that.
Well, and grounding the double plays because he's slow. I mean, I would cook him in a race. Tony's questioning it, but
I didn't say anything.
I'm asking though.
He definitely is. He doesn't believe in you.
How far is the rate? How long?
First base.
Oh yeah, probably.
You're saying long term, I might get tired though.
Yeah, if it was like a 40-yard dash, I don't know.
Yeah. And then one other thing here before we move on. Josh B says it's a deferred money that is BS to me.
I was just going to say that.
What do you guys think about that?
I mean, it does seem kind of like a significant loophole that you can take advantage of here. And I guess, you can make the argument it does ruin it could, fuck up your team down the road when they end up, having to eventually pay. But it seems kind of stupid, I guess. But I mean, I guess if the MLB teams want to do that, they can do that. But I don't know. It just seems like at some point, I guess we'll see what happens. Because obviously a lot of Dodgers players are deferring a lot of money here.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see how that does actually affect the team down the road. Because not for nothing, it should. Like at this point, it should. You should have backlash for doing that. Because I think it is kind of bogus.
Yeah, and I was going to say too, but also, I mean, deferred money's been around for a long time. We know about Bonilla, obviously,
right.
But I think the difference is before it was like, just like, $150 million contract, $20 million deferred, $10 million deferred, not a whole thing deferred. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the difference.
Preferred.
But also, I don't know about you guys, but I think there's just a lot of players who are like, I'm not deferring shit. Like, I'm not deferring anything. So that's why it's like, I think it's not going to be, this is just been kind of this rush where, we want to be in the Dodgers, we want to be in the Dodgers. But now, I mean, you've come to a point where, I mean, there's no room to sign anybody else. So, like, these players are going to have to go somewhere else.
I'm going to go somewhere else.
Maybe teams defer, but I think also, they're looking at the future and they don't want their hands tied. And Bonilla is a perfect example. I mean, that obviously ended up being absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And it will be interesting with Ohtani. Those 680 deferred. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, right, dude? And I mean, there's a lot of tax implications there as well when he leaves the country, when he retires, I guess, or when he's done with the contract or whatever. But yeah, it does seem, especially with the Ohtani cheating scandal, it doesn't seem kosher to me. Like
You're
any
saying
of this, dude.
The betting?
That too. Yeah. I mean,
that really, I think that's something that Michael would
over
be
for me.
Yeah,
such a rat.
Like, what the hell,
forever
man?
and ever.
Yeah.
And they let poor
interpreter man.
Fuck
the
that
blame?
guy too.
Is he in the pinner?
No, but I'm talking. No, he's back home.
No, he's back home.
Fucking sleeping in money.
And you get extradited.
My boy Petey,
Sure.
R.I.P. hits leader Pete Rose. They let him die.
Yeah.
Without getting inducted.
Bullshit.
And they have this freaking loser playing every day.
Yeah. During the cheating scandal.
What's going on with that?
During the betting scandal, he's still playing.
Yeah.
And there's the dude on Twitter the bet made in his hometown.
Yes.
His start, he gets popped. 4 innings, 6 earned runs.
Yeah, and he bets
against
that.
the Padres. Oh, this bet was made out of his hometown.
Oh,
Yeah.
Against him, by the way.
Such a rat.
Not like a guy in the hometown hero. Sure, I mean, I'm sure his bets be made from his hometown in every game. But against him, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah,
Or maybe
no, it's
disgruntled ex-girlfriend.
honestly,
I don't know.
I before you mentioned that,
boyfriend.
Tony, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why, but I just completely forgot about that. But it
Yeah,
is
because
it
they-
is
The
almost
MLB
swept
wants
it
the
under
MLB
the
wants
rug,
you to
dude.
forget about
You
it.
know how
Right,
much money he's
right.
making in the MLB, dude? Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Wait, what
These
a
greedy
concept
fucks.
though. People with power, people with money being able to do whatever they want. You know,
Happens
I've
everywhere,
never,
dude.
I've never seen that one before.
Happens everywhere.
But
Even
yeah,
here.
so that's really where we're at, and me and Tony, you know, have been saying, Zach. I mean, we just cannot wait for spring training, and you know, workouts are 3 weeks away at this point. It's gonna be an awesome season.
Yeah, I can't wait for my workout. Come on. Yeah, yes, it's going to be dope, dude. 3 weeks. Like, let's go. I'm
And
pumped.
I was telling Tony, I don't know.
He's
if you-
going to games, spring training.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to
See you later, Brian. All right?
to two games.
Someone
I've never
sounds
been to
jealous.
spring training.
Oh, no.
Well, that's sick, dude.
Have you ever? Or?
No.
Yeah. But I think it's one of those things. Like if you're a baseball guys like us, it's like you want to do it.
Yeah,
Like it's like one of
of
those
course.
things for a while. I've
Yeah.
been thinking like this would be sick, and it's just awesome here because the weather is shitty here. But then you go there,
Corey?
it's nice. Yeah. So definitely
Legendary friend.
so pumped for that, and yeah,
Better than
obviously
my friends.
appreciate it for sure. But yeah, so if any more baseball stuff comes up, we will mention it. But let's switch gears and go to the world of the National Hockey League.
Let's go.
Here he comes. McDavid shoots top shelf. He scores. Captain with the overtime winner. That's the middle. Great hit. Cameron. It's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping. Rink Washington made the full split save.
Are you kidding me? Turn, side of the net, between the legs, and they score! Filthy! David Pasternak,
The silver trophy to the Golden Knights.
All right. This hockey segment is brought to you by The Knowlton. Looking for the perfect venue to make your next event unforgettable? Check out The Knowlton, Fairfield County's premier waterfront event space right here in Bridgeport. Whether it's a wedding, bar, or bat mitzvah, private party, or corporate gathering, The Knowlton has you covered with 3 stunning, versatile spaces suited for picturesque waterfront moments, creative and professional gatherings, or elegant celebrations. We talk about it all the time. The Boathouse, the 700 episode, Gaming Corner,
Absolutely.
the place to be. Visit theknowlton.com to book your tour today.
Beautiful.
And, you know, we were talking about this, you know, at the beginning of the show. Rangers, dominant victory last night, 5-0. And I have to say, Tony,
Got me riled.
but also it got me riled. Tony was Houdini. He said it yesterday. Was it the Manhattan beatdown?
The Manhattan beatdown,
You said that.
baby. Yeah, I said they're going to give him an old Manhattan beatdown.
You've gotten one or two before, huh?
Staten Island beatdowns.
And I promise, because Tony, I swear, is gonna want to take a swing at me after the show. But I'm sure you heard us talk about this before. I know I've asked you this before, but just one more time. Any part of you that think the offsides rule is ridiculous?
I was listening at Las Vegas. It was,
Yeah.
I was laughing.
Freezing.
People looking at me.
Yeah.
I think if the league wants to go more offense heavy, they got to change it. But if they don't, they're gonna keep it.
But do you agree though? Like what I was saying, just with like the whole like, oh, his blade of his skate
Yeah, that's
is
ridiculous.
a quarter
Yeah,
inch.
no, that needs
like,
to
I think
go.
it almost maybe shouldn't be reviewed. Honestly,
No, that should go. I think if it's blatant, you know, where the goal is and the blue line.
Yeah.
If he's in the middle, you can call the offsides.
Right.
But that stuff, like the stick in like, come on.
Yeah, and one more time on that rule, Tony, with the stick again that you were saying. If it's above the crossbar, you
Was that what you're talking about? Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So
If
what
the
is it again?
If the puck is above the crossbar of the goal, you cannot hit it down into the goal with your stick.
Okay.
It has to
okay.
be level with the goaltender.
What do you think about that? I mean, is it just because it's
mean,
high sticking? Is that
Yeah,
why?
yeah, basically, yeah. And
Okay.
and like, first of all, yeah, you should really never have your stick that high in general in hockey because you can hit someone. But it also, again, in that exact instance, a puck bounced off the board and it's in midair, like all above everyone's head, and Cooley just hits it down. and almost like this isn't lacrosse here, okay,
Yeah.
dude? Like you can't.
I agree. That should stay.
Yeah. No, because it is dangerous. I mean, someone could get literally hit in the throat, with their stick high. So I understand that
Stick
point. But it was just crazy that they win 5-0. Could have been 8-0.
Could have
I
been-
mean, there were
could have been
3
8-0.
goals that were pulled back. But I feel like Igor coming into his own, and really just the team in general, a completely different team than what we had seen, when they were going through this stretch, losing all these games, really playing like the worst team in the entire league, Tony, and just setting the tone. And I guess what the first goal that was called back.
That was the Rempe offsides one.
Okay, the Rempe offsides.
Yeah, which she was offsides by a freaking mile.
That would have made it 2-0 because Lafreniere,
Correct.
First, minute 12, scores his 13th. Vinny T and Foxy on that one. Foxy
We'll
up
have
to
to see
35
that, dude.
assists.
Yes.
And then Kaliev.
Kaliev.
More annoying for you, the obsession with the offsides or the mispronunciation?
I think the mispronunciation, because that, I mean, I don't know. Of all the names that you stumbled upon, this is probably the easiest one. Which, again, I mean, there obviously are hard names out there, but I mean, Kaliev.
With his second, and later had a goal
Sick,
called
dude.
back because
Yes.
of the blade of his skate. But that made it 2-0. And they led 2-0 after 2. And I was just gonna say, I mean, the impact that he's had, a waiver player, Tony. I know it's so early on, and it could be a flash in the pan. But you have to be pretty jacked up what you've seen out of him so far.
No, yeah, you very much so are, and I mean, not for nothing. I mean, this is exactly what his scouting report was. That he's a great shooter. He's a shoot first mentality guy, and I mean that not for nothing, dude. That goal he had was at such a tremendous angle. On the boards, almost like straight on with the goaltender, and he was able to rip it past not only a stick check, but then past the tender himself, right over his shoulder. So I mean, the accuracy, the power is there. Yes, this guy was waived. He wasn't waived necessarily because he was horrible. I mean,
Room on the roster, right?
room in the roster is why he was waived. It's unfortunate that again, LA has a lot of talented players. They're doing really well. It is unfortunate that he was waived. I forget who they brought up and why they needed to waive him. But again, you look at social media, look at those posts. I mean, a lot of LA Kings fans were like kind of sad to see him go. Wish him the best of luck. Not that he was bad by any means. They just didn't have room for him. So great pickup by the Rangers here. Obviously, the Staten Island flavor, tremendous storyline there. You'll have to hear that. But yeah, I mean, he's exactly what the Rangers needed. That shoot first mentality. I feel like that's something that again, the Rangers have struggled with in recent years to their demise. And I mean, not for nothing, I think that maybe his mentality is trickling down to other players. I mean, you saw Panarin's goal. That was a shoot first, think later type of goals, and you don't see that very often.
And his shot was kind of far back too. I mean, that was a difficult shot to make.
It was a difficult. Kaliev, you
Yes.
talking about? Yeah, no, he literally back against the boards, dude.
Yeah.
It was a broken play. And the puck kind of just trickles in by him, and he just grabs it, turns, and rips it. Again, gets through a stick check. He shoots through a defender's stick and over the shoulder of what's his name, Merrill before they pull him for Forsberg, I think, or maybe that was after. It doesn't really matter. In any case, dude, he definitely showcases his strength this game for sure, dude.
Yeah, and Rempe with his first of the year. To 3.5 minutes into the third.
Did you see that goal? Because
Yes,
that
I
was
did.
fucking sick, dude.
That was sick. In transition, right?
In
How are your knees,
transition,
Tony?
Again, dude, I can probably stand and blow him, Michael. Okay, he's so tall. So I mean, again,
That's got to just be the promo.
Well, I mean, that's what you said, right?
I mean, yeah. Where's the notepad? Timestamps.
Go ahead.
I was just
Go
saying
ahead.
because of the desk, it looks like your knees are rubbing up against the
But
desk.
the funny thing is, if anybody else, if that was about anybody else, Tony would have wrote down the timestamp. But it's 'cause it's him.
100%.
He's in the clear, so
Yeah.
it's okay.
I mean, you guys can write it down. I can't write it down because I'm speaking right now. Okay, dude.
Josh B is laughing at his job right now.
Yeah, and Tommy.
That's
Oh,
Tommy,
definitely.
sure,
Yeah.
dude. Tommy knows what I'm talking about here. So, I mean, if you watch that goal, dude, like again, I mean, Matt Rempe is someone who, yes, has been taking a lot of slack. In my opinion, last year didn't really belong in the league as a hockey player. It's very interesting, getting, even,
I mean, even this year too, up and down.
No, yes, because he's not the best player, obviously. Obviously his size plays a significant factor in the decisions to play him. And regardless of his skill, a man of that size in the ice, you have to watch out for, because for one, he is in the NHL. He can skate well enough to crack you, so you got to watch out for him. He has a presence on the ice. But I will say this year specifically, you can tell he has worked on skating and puck handling.
Yeah.
Because not for nothing, he went from backhand to forehand really fucking quick on this goal, which, again, I've never seen that from him once. And not to mention, the play, I believe, started with him, quick turnover, touch pass by him, and he knows exactly where to go. Hockey IQ, skates up the ice hard, and then gets a sick pass from Edstrom, who also, big body, has seemingly learned how to move, because he was kind of roping through a defender, gets the pass around, the strength through the stick check, Rempe's open, the quick, like I said, backhand, forehand goal. To see a play like that in transition from your two big men on the fourth line, that's exactly what I was talking about yesterday. The Ottawa's bottom six can be definitely taken advantage of here, and that was it right there. I would love to see more from that fourth line, dude. That's very impressive stuff.
Yeah. And then you mentioned Panarin's goal, his 20th, and I believe I called that yesterday, by the way. Not the score, but the goal. That was on a power play. So Fox, another assist there, 36. Mika with his 20th. And then Cooley, 50 seconds later, another goal on a power play. Laffy and Miller in on that one. So it ends up being 5-0. Rangers move to 23, 20, and 4, including 11, 9, and 2 at the Garden. And then Igor, another shutout. He's really coming to his own. And then the fight was nuts.
Unbelievable.
Was that... I don't know. It kind of happened quick. Was that Ottawa induced and just frustration getting crushed this game? What did you see there, Tony?
Yeah, I think so. Listen, we've seen it a lot of times with Ottawa. I was mentioning yesterday too. It seems that the Senators do have somewhat of an anger problem. At least Brady Tkachuk does. You see him a lot of dirty plays happen and start with Brady Tkachuk, or at least involve him anyway. And I think that's what happened. It was just like you said, an angry, tight, loser-induced, I guess, decision making here by Ottawa. Obviously, you see Igor not enjoying it. He's someone who definitely. Especially, I think someone under his pressure, the contract this year, the fact that the Rangers defense still is pretty Swiss cheese, dude. I think a lot of tensions are high for him in general, and not for nothing, he shouldn't be taking that shit. But of course, you have to see, the Rangers obviously all come to his defense as well. But yeah, man, there's no. I think it's great. I'm glad that Ottawa did that, to be honest. Get the Rangers fired up, locker room, bring them together. Fuck Ottawa, let's go, dude.
I'm so in on the run. It's not even funny.
Mm-hmm. No, literally,
so
this is
fucking
it, dude.
in. Let's fucking go.
Again, it's interesting.
2 points back, by the way, now.
Yeah, this was a huge win. We talked about it. Ottawa was in the wild card ahead of you. Boston, right, just took the second wild card spot the other day.
Montreal took it back last night. They have the tiebreaker over Boston.
Okay,
somehow.
fair enough.
What is the tiebreaker? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I don't point diff.
Gotta be.
Right?
Because
I don't think it's heads-up matchup or anything like that, divisional play, nothing like that. I think it's point differential. Keep it nice and clean, simple. In any case, though, dude, listen, like you said, the run, it does feel like it's coming. You look at the last 10 games here for the Rangers. They're 6-1-3. We've mentioned the amount of points they've been getting. Obviously, those 3 overtime losses, tough. Should those games have even gone to overtime? Is your defense still bad? Is Igor still tight? Your defense is still bad? Yes. But not for nothing, beating Ottawa, who... this year had had good stretches. They've been a very streaky team, I suppose, and a lot of problems in the locker room, it seems, or at least on the roster, in my opinion. But anyway, beating this team 5-0 at home, huge, dude. It is indicative of somewhat of a run coming up here. And boy, do Rangers fans really need it. It's going to be interesting though, because. Again, I guess we can, we talked about their schedule, I think, a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
And it seems somewhat favorable, right? We said.
But some tough ones as well. It's kind of a mixed bag. If you look at it, so tomorrow we'll be home against Philly. That manageable game, obviously.
Oh, wait,
but then Colorado, Carolina, at Boston, home to Vegas, against Boston, and then the Pittsburgh game before they go Columbus, Buffalo, Pittsburgh again. But I don't know, Tony. Honestly, looking at that, Vegas stands out, Carolina stands out, and I guess Colorado. But Boston, even though they had that good game, what was it, the other day? But the 2 games against them, I feel like we matched up well. We beat them. Was it a 1-0 game when we won?
I think so, right? 2-1.
We've beaten Pittsburgh already this season. We've beaten Vegas as well, and even Carolina and Colorado. I just feel differently right now because of the way the Rangers are playing. The fact that we get them at home as well. Those 3 games, I wouldn't be surprised if we went 2-1. I mean, we very easily could go 1-2, sure. But I think we're gonna hold our own, honestly.
I mean, Vegas we beat 2-1 recently, right?
Yeah, Colorado we almost beat in Colorado.
Lost in overtime. That was OT loser, right? We give up the goal in the third, lose in overtime. Yes. And then I think we only faced Carolina once, and we lost in late December before the break.
Kind of got smacked, right?
Let me see.
At that time,
3-1.
Oh, okay.
So nothing crazy, but still, I mean, obviously then the Rangers were still going through the thick of it. They were just kind of showing signs of maybe possibly turning it around. But yeah, dude, I mean, I do like some of these matchups. I like to see Colorado again, see what happens. Obviously, Philly, like you expect to win. Carolina is definitely going to be tough. It's not an easy, road ahead here. But boy, I mean, like, I would love to go to that February 1st game against Boston. Like 3:30 game, Saturday, enemy territory, dude, in the thick of it.
I didn't realize that
at TD Garden.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I would love to be there.
Yeah.
Get that dub, shove it in the Bruins' faces.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Have our own little tea party.
Yeah, no, the way they're playing, it's like you want to go to every game, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking, like, oh, wow, the Philadelphia game, that's inexpensive, but it just annoys.
Stamps
like,
outside of Philly.
No, that's a home game.
Oh, it's a home game. It is. Oh my God,
but,
is it? It's $72.
Yeah. But it is tough, like we always talk about. Like the weekend games are just so much sicker.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, yeah, dude.
Yeah. But a lot to be excited about. In terms of the Rangers, that's for sure.
That's a tough back-to-back, dude. Boston come back home against Vegas Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, and then have Boston again.
Oh man, going to both of those games. Imagine going to TD Garden. Imagine traveling with the team right there, February 1st, on the road,
but
and you come back home against Vegas.
Yeah, I feel like I guess it. I do in a sense like going to Yankees, Red Sox, but. I'd rather go to a Boston game at home, like the goal song, the ambiance. I don't need all the guys with the accents.
No, I want
they're
it, dude.
hammered.
I want
feel like they're more hammered in Boston. Do you kind of notice that or no?
As opposed to like Manhattan.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just the accents.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it is. I don't know. I'm trying to think now of my few times there, I guess at Fenway. I mean, I suppose there's some belligerent guys around there, but I mean, they're kind of everywhere, I guess. I've never been in TD Garden, so I've never.
No, neither have I.
I really do want to go there.
No, it would be cool. It would be cool,
dude. All right, I don't know what you're talking
about. But yeah, before we do a frenzy, just running down the results here. Martin Biot, the hero there, at the Bell Center.
We called it.
We did call it 3-2, 33-34. Canadiens been on a bender. Lightning back-to-back losses. The Flyers 2-1 in overtime over the Red Wings, so they've really rebounded after going through it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So that
is not tight.
Not tight. That was a big one for them. They are right in the mix with us in the wild card race. Insane. I was I had
the Capitals.
I had the Capitals game
Let's
on,
go.
but no. So what I was saying is I had the Rangers actually, but anyway.
There we go.
I was just looking at the bottom line. I see the Sharks are up 4-0 after the first. I was like, oh, here we go. We knew it, the value. And then they get outscored 7-1 after that. So the Predators laying it on. Kind of nuts. So I guess Vegas does know something, right, Tony?
Yeah, that's true, dude. They definitely do know something. But I think we called some other underdogs, though, right? Because we both had the Capitals.
Yeah, well, you called the Sabres.
I called
so
the
that was a
Sabres
good
over
one.
the
But we
Canucks,
did have the
dude.
Capitals, and then we
That's
had
right,
the
baby.
Stars. They lose 2-1 to the Hurricanes.
Yeah, that was tough, dude.
Kotkaniemi with 2 goals. And then, the Capitals 3-2. Luc Dubois or Dubois?
Dubois.
Pierre-Luc Dubois.
With the game winner there, 3-2. Oilers led 1-0. But then, obviously Capitals come back and didn't get anything from Ovechkin. Didn't matter. 32-10-5. The Capitals have been a juggernaut this year. Sabres have been anything but they do win 3-2 over the Canucks. So the Canucks really have been going through it this year. Expected to be a lot better. I know they've had injuries at times, but maybe it's the whole Miller-Pettersson thing. So that was a very disappointing loss for them. They're
Crazy,
8-10-6 at home, 6 overtime losses at home. Talk about disappointing.
Yeah,
and then one that we all expected, Panthers 5-2
bounce back
over the Ducks. Big bounce back for them.
Let's see how Trouba did, by the way. I think I said he would be on the ice for every goal against.
And also, too, any thought here, Tony, on the way that Florida's been playing this year? Because it seems like there's just been I know they won this game and everything, but it just seems like they've had a lot of slip-ups that we haven't seen like over the last couple of years. You think they're kind of like fatigued from these runs?
Jacob Trouba, by the way, -2 on the ice last night for Anaheim. Yeah, I guess you could chalk it up to fatigue. I mean, not for nothing, their team isn't much different from last season. Bobrovsky is another year older. Everyone obviously is another year older. But I think maybe it is, dude. Not for nothing. I mean, they had really tough back-to-back seasons, long, lengthy. We saw what happened to Tampa Bay when they had, back-to-back Stanley Cup winning long seasons. Florida is someone arguably someone had to go through even more of a tougher road for the postseason, being the wild card 2 years ago, obviously, and then now, maintaining that for last year. It does take a lot out of you. Not for nothing, you'll get Bobrovsky's numbers here, who, again, 2 years ago at age 34, people were like, I don't know, maybe he could be retiring soon, wins the Cup, comes back this year, has a great record, 19-11-2. Obviously, he has a great team around him, but the goals against, he's 31st in the league for goals against, 2.83, save percentage, under 900 right now, only one shutout this season. You can maybe argue that there's fatigue there in terms of the goaltending, and we know they did go on like a tough stretch. I think they're still in their tough stretch, technically, right now. I think they have struggled to score at some points, too. I think maybe even more so, too, coupled with the fatigue, is the fact that teams are starting to figure out how to beat the Panthers, maybe. I'd have to maybe look a little bit more into their game specifically, but I would imagine at some point someone has found out an answer to stop what they're trying to put out on the ice. Maybe it could be an uphill battle for the rest, but I don't expect them to really have many issues gaining a little postseason berth this season. Especially with, the roster is just unbelievable, dude. It really is. From top to bottom, soup to nuts, Michael. It's a Stanley Cup winning roster. Yeah.
Would you almost compare it to like the Chiefs? Like until they go down, like you're not going to see it coming, basically.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. You still have such significant playmakers. Ryan Hart's killing it this year, 52 points, leading the team. Kachuk, Matthew, that is, 41 points. Barkov, 39 points. Verhaeghe, 34 points. It's ridiculous. Anton Lundell 30 points as well. Sam Bennett, 29, reaching 30. They have so many different ways they can attack you. Until they do get taken down, it's going to be chalk.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. And they're actually back in action tonight, part of a 4-pack, Tony.
That's a 4-pack, dude.
Kind of interesting. Just so a national game on NHL Network, 7:00, Bruins Devils, and then one game on TNT, Panthers Kings. And we know the Kings last time at home, losing that game to Pittsburgh, but still 14-3-1 at home. Should be a good matchup, especially getting Florida on the back-to-back. That'll be a good one to watch. And then Blue Jackets, Maple Leafs, Jets, Avalanche. So really every game on the schedule pretty good. So this should be a great Wednesday frozen frenzy.
That's right, baby. We got this little 4-pack
but
of
really,
dancing
the games, right?
tall
Good
boys,
games.
dude. Great matchups here. The games. Let's start off with a nice The Rock. We're starting off there, 7 p.m. New Jersey Devils, -225 against the Boston Bruins here. Bruins, I don't know, maybe with some value here, +190. Over-under is 5.5. Ladies and gentlemen, obviously the Devils, look at these records here, 26-17-6. Devils have been good. Bruins found their way here, 23-19-6. Not too far off from the record of the Devils here. Swayman, I mentioned, getting better. First time these two teams are facing each other. Devils, speaking of going through it, 4-game losing streak they are on right now. Brian, is it Bruins or is it maybe bounce back from the Devils?
This is so tough because I don't really like either team, but like I've mentioned many times, I don't have the same Boston distaste for the Bruins that I do for the other Boston teams. But anyway, just honestly looking at it from a logical perspective, biases aside, I have to go with the Devils. And you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of their due with Pittsburgh against the Kings the other night. The Devils have played terrible recently, losing 4 in a row. And if you look at it too, getting outscored 11-6 in those games. So obviously, really been taking a beating. But I think this game, they step it up. And I want to say they're going to win this game 4-2. Hughes with 2 goals and an assist. Devils and the over.
I mean, this is so tough, dude. I guess I'll go with the Devils too. I mean, Bruins have some injuries as well in the lineup. Yeah, give me Devils bounce back. I think Markstrom shuts him out, to be honest. 4th straight of the season for Jacob Markstrom. He's having a great season. He improves to 22-9-5. As I said, 4th straight out. Devils lone goal scorer. I'll give it to Nico Hischier, dude. 1-0. Devils and the under. I don't care about the value in the dog. Next game here, we're going to go to Toronto. The Maple Leafs take on the Blue Jackets, my guy. Toronto minus 200, over-under is 6.5 here. Blue Jackets, believe it or not, beat Toronto 6-2 in late October, Michael. Look at these last 2 teams. Blue Jackets back-to-back losses in New York. Toronto, 3 wins in a row, including the Devils. Montreal, Tampa Bay. What do you got, Brian?
Give me the 4-pack here, Tony. And I've been impressed with Columbus for sure. But Maple Leafs 19-9 at home. Columbus 6-13-4. So have been anything but strong on the road. So I think the firepower too much to handle. I'm going to say Austin Matthews, Hattie Boom Batty, Josh B out there somewhere, corporate America. And I'm going to say Maple Leafs dominant win. I'm going to say 5-1 Leafs and the under.
Yeah, Columbus was hot. Now they're not
so much.
And I hate to say it, but I mean, the talent on Toronto, I mean, how do you just not go with them? I think it's chalk here. I think it's 6-2. Flip the script. Let's go Toronto. Next game here, we're going to Colorado as the Avs take on the Jets of Winnipeg. Colorado here, minus 125. Over or under is 6.5. The Jets are leading the regular season series here. 2-1 is the final matchup we'll see of these 2 teams in the regular season. Jets, also a team working on back-to-back losses. Colorado losers of 3 of the last 5 here. What do you got? 9:30 p.m. by the way.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me. But I don't know. Colorado, the way they've been playing recently, I don't like it. And I know they've lost 2 out of the first 3 games, or they really going to lose 3 out of 4 to Winnipeg, but I kind of do, honestly. I don't know. Colorado almost seems to be going through that slide that Florida had been going through and has gone through a couple times this year. And I know Winnipeg lost the last 2, but something tells me Hellebuck, I think is going to have a great game. I think they win a tight game. But give me the Jets, 3-2. Jets in the under.
I don't hate the call there. This is a great matchup, toss-up game, I think. And I do agree with you. I think Hellebuck was tight after the 5-2 loss against Utah. He wants to get one back. But something tells me right now it's going to be Cale Makar's night for the Colorado Avalanche, dude. Give me the Hattie Boom Batty. Let's go. Josh B. Hattie Boom Batty trick for Cale Makar. Avs win this one. I'll say 5-2. Avs and the over. Next game, last game, possibly the best game. We're going West Coast here. Los Angeles, okay? They're playing the Panthers, actually, in a nice little non-conference matchup here. Florida's coming in even on the money line, which is pretty interesting. Over-under is 5.5. First time these 2 teams will face each other. The Kings going through a little bit of rut of their own. Losers of 4 of their last 5. 2 in a row here. Panthers seemingly getting right, shutting out Anaheim. What do you got for this one in LA, Brian?
So tough because you go with is Florida starting to play better, but then they're on a back-to-back? Are the Kings due, but they've been playing terrible? and I have this feeling like Florida is the better team. But then I just have this thought: the Kings have been playing so bad. I think they win this game. I think it's a close game, a high-scoring game. But I think Kempe game winner overtime 4-3 Kings in the over.
Wow, that's pretty wild, dude. Wow.
I don't like taking teams on it back-to-back.
I didn't expect that, dude. I mean, I guess, yeah.
Because you wanted to take the Kings, you're saying.
No, I just didn't expect you to be honest. I think I'm going to take the Panthers, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, this is it, Michael. I'm going to put my stock in Connecticut's own Spencer Knight, who I would imagine is getting the start for Florida. I guess I can double check, but I would imagine he is here. And, we just said it. I mean, I think that Florida is kind of, getting right here after their tough stretch. I know it seems kind of funny to say here, but I just think maybe they may overpower the Kings, who've been surprisingly good this season. But I just think maybe right now, Kings aren't playing their best hockey. So, I don't know. Give me the Panthers here. Spencer Knight right now unconfirmed. But give me the Panthers winning this one. I'll say it's lower scoring. They win 2-1 regulation. Sam Reinhart, third period goal, puts them up in the lead. And that is your final score.
Just like that. That is your frozen frenzy. So a four-pack, Tony. I feel like you're more of a six-pack guy, no? Or four-pack of tall boys.
Four-pack of Gansett tall boys is definitely more than enough to start off with. But yeah, I'll take a 6-pack too. Whatever. Give me a 12-pack, dude. Give me a 30-rack. All right.
Why not?
Why not?
Right?
On this Wednesday, dude.
But I have to say, I know we've talked about it a couple times already, but this new Ranger optimism is so sick. Honestly.
I mean, something to root for, something to look forward to, something to enjoy watching every night, I mean, there's not much around here to be looking forward to, dude. So to have the Rangers involved and Smith, they're playing better. And I don't want to be like, not to say I was never really still in the comeback train, but I don't want to sit here and be like, yo, this is it.
You weren't.
No, I was actually.
No,
I wasn't. I can say
neither was he.
Yeah.
No,
I don't
was,
know.
dude.
No.
I
think
play
you were
games,
saying,
Michael, but you don't fucking watch.
The only thing I would say,
dude.
I think you were kind of in between, Tony. But the one thing that Tony did say all the time, and we kind of made fun of him for it, is the President's Trophy last year. Like, it can't be this bad, right? Or no?
No, right. I mean, and it's exactly. I mean, that was exactly right. I mean, there was something I knew, like. There's roster, there's talent on the roster, dude. Like you can figure it out. Like there's something obviously internally, whatever. Regardless, I'm not gonna sit here and say that all our problems are fixed. Like I was saying before, defense is still a considerable issue. But right now, again, I mean the scoring, the vision on the ice, and the skill set, I think is better from top to bottom of our forwards, which is great. And it's something to build upon, dude.
I have an interesting question for everybody involving two local teams here. I was just thinking about it. And I'm going to start with Michael. I kind of think I know what he's going to say, but I'm actually a little interested in this.
Me too.
And I know both of these doesn't seem like I would definitely expect that to happen. More likely championship this year, Knicks or Rangers?
I mean, Rangers.
Tony?
I mean, I would say Rangers as well.
Zach?
I'm going Rangers.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have to say,
What
I
would
did
you
not
say,
expect
Brian?
it to be a clean sweep. So if you asked me like a week ago, I wouldn't even have hesitated and said Knicks. But now I think we've pulled even, and as long as we continue this upward trajectory, I think ultimately we will be proven that we do have a better shot, but there's a long way to go, Tony. But like the work has started, but a lot to go. But I am expecting them to get to that point. But it remains to be seen.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. It still remains to be seen. It's an interesting comparison. I mean, what do you think? Because at this point, like you said, you kind of expect more of the Rangers. Let's say the Rangers do go on a run and they grab the wild card. I guess to go back to the Knicks, I mean, what do you think they're going to have to do to kind of, I guess, remain competitive?
Well, I just think it's like I don't know what trades they could really do, so it's going to be the same team. So
they're looking at Nurkic, by the way.
Oh, they are. I mean, I like Nurkic.
That's good.
But do you know who they would trade?
I forget.
But I think it's just like they have to catch like Boston or Cleveland. They just have a terrible like Miami Heat versus the Dallas Mavericks type of series in the playoffs for them to have. You know what I mean? It seems like, and it seems like they might give them a battle, but I just question 7-game
Battle.
series.
Towns has a broken bone in his hand, a chipped bone.
Yeah, that's tough. And he's been playing so good. Like, that's a killer. And he had 25 and 16 last night in their win over the Nets. But again, the Nets.
Everybody's
Actually,
hyped about it. It's like, dude.
I had a last-second opportunity to go yesterday. Goldstein texted me, but mom's birthday, Testos. By the way, Tony would have got Ralph for this, I think, anyway. I got the shrimp scampi over angel hair.
Whoa.
Fire, dude. So good.
Didn't I say that yesterday?
You might have, honestly. I think
shit.
No, and I think I was saying that, like, oh yeah, I'm like probably not gonna get that. But for some reason it just I really like angel hair too. I never have angel hair, honestly. But yeah, Testo's really good job that they did over there because it used to be Roberto's in Monroe. I don't know if you know where I'm talking about. Like if you just get off the connector and then just go straight down, like headed towards where Buffalo Bills used to be, but Clock Tower area before that's where it is. So
isn't there another Testos?
There's one in Fairfield, Bridgeport line. It's technically in Fairfield. And there was one in Bridgeport, but they knocked that down a couple years ago for apartments. But it used to be like wedding venue.
Yes.
Carm used to work there for years, and we had been there.
Wait, the one in Bridgeport?
Yeah, that one got knocked down.
Yeah, I've been to that one numerous times, actually.
But have you been to the one in Fairfield?
No.
It's technically it's crazy too because it's technically Fairfield. It's Brookline Ave, but it feels like Bridgeport.
Wait, that one on the corner, the one of the stop sign intersection,
Yes,
the one that looks like I'm gonna get stabbed.
Yes.
What's the deal? Is that just a restaurant? That's not like a hall, though, is it? Right? Because obviously
there's probably a room, but the other one was like the hall.
Yeah, that was.
This place has a
room. We used to go there for all like be events, whatever. Sacred Heart would have. You'd go there.
Banquets,
the penne vodka, the buffet, the rolls, the dancing.
Yeah, no, honestly, really, really good. Huge bar too. I would love to go there to like watch games, and, like get a couple drinks.
It was pretty funny because you would go like sororities and fraternities would have like their formals there and shit, right? But it's like it was so funny because it's like when you would go as an undergrad, they would make sure that you have the wristband, you don't go to the bar, but then obviously all the seniors are going to go to the bar, but then they start seeking the drinks, people get in trouble, start up in the bathroom, get kicked out.
Wait, you weren't seeking any drinks, right?
No, not me, dude.
You're so cool, Tony.
Why is that so funny, dude?
I don't know, dude. It just is because it goes back to like a couple of years ago, Michael. Like we all started with the drinking, like for whatever reason. That one always stuck.
No, yeah, that's a good one, dude. The drinking, because it really is all about that, dude. I wish I was drinking right now.
You could.
But speaking of good ones, I feel like today's episode was a good one, and a lot of comments. By the way, we did have an at the buzzer comment from Michael Domack.
Yeah, we have a few there actually, dude.
Let's get to these comments.
He says,
what a bum.
Michael Domack says, "Hey fellas,
You mean Derek Ho's 2017 Connor Renata?
Just saying, what's going on?" He says, "If Cat can play defense, then they have a good shot. But until
he doesn't know
then."
hoops.
I think he's going to hurt them with the Cavs, big man, etc., etc.
No, it's Thibs. He's the issue. Like,
Wow,
let's all wake
dude.
up, smell the coffee,
But
look at
also,
the track
though,
record.
I already said this last year. No Boston championships for a while, so I know Domack's thinking about the back-to-back.
I can't.
It's not
with
gonna
him.
happen. It's not gonna
He
happen.
loves all the weirdest teams. He's fraudulent with it.
Eagles.
He's an Eagles fan
Yeah, you know that he's a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
And a Yankees fan.
and a Celtics fan.
Yeah. But listen,
He should not work in sports.
the one thing I always say.
He's not gonna.
He
The
isn't.
one thing I always say, though, if somebody's a Yankee fan, usually that means that they're a good person.
I think you're the first and only person to ever say that, dude. I'm
No,
sorry.
it was about something else
It
that I
was-
can't
yeah,
mention.
yeah.
I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
But obviously, we're just giving a Domack a hard time.
He
Great
says,
guy.
He says, by the way, fly Eagles, fly, baby. His dad's an Eagles fan.
I don't
I
care.
hate to say it.
I'll
I
give
hate
a pass
to say
on
it.
people for that,
I'm
dude.
expecting the Washington outright. I know Tony's a little fatigued from the Jaden Daniels situation.
He just doesn't like good quarterbacks. I feel Tony.
No,
Yeah.
I think you guys are dumb with that statement.
Wait, what do you think about the
You don't like
Tesco's?
Mahomes. You don't like Jaden. You don't
First
like
of all,
anybody.
You like
first
Josh
of all,
Allen, I guess, right?
pump the fucking brakes. I didn't say I don't like Jane Daniels. Never once.
No, but what you
Never
said no. But
once.
didn't you say like, oh, like when we talked about this, like I think on Monday, you're like, I think it's getting a little crazy. That like, let's pump the brakes. Didn't you say that?
You said
Well, yeah,
that.
because people were talking about he's rookie Super Bowl champion, and I'm like, hold the phone now, okay, dude? Because first of all, you gotta get there.
What phone?
Okay, the phone you're trying to fucking call somebody on, okay, dude? Any case, listen, he's a rookie. This is unfamiliar territory. It's hard to make a prediction for him, but I know the Eagles are from top to bottom one of the better rosters around the league. It's a better.
They have a
de-
horrible quarterback.
Better. First of all, to say he's horrible is stupid.
Put him on a different
Okay.
team.
No.
He's nobody.
Okay. First of all, dude, everyone calm down. All right.
You like bad quarterbacks.
You can
I
say
don't
that
understand
about
it.
anybody.
No.
Put him on a
Honestly,
different team. Put him on a different team.
There's an
Put him on a
in-between-
different
No,
team.
there's an
He's
in-bet-
on the fucking Eagles,
There's-
bro.
He can't even throw for 200 yards consistently.
There's an in
Why
between
would
here.
he?
There's an in between here.
Why would
I
he?
I
even
wouldn't.
before
Saquon
Saquon,
Barkley.
even before him.
I
Doesn't
wouldn't-
matter.
It does.
No, it doesn't now because you're winning. You're winning games.
No,
It's gonna hurt him.
I would say honestly, he's not horrible, but he is not
He
a
gets sacked
pocket
all the time.
passer. He like his running is his best ability,
And he just got his
he's
knee popped.
Inconsistent, and he's probably somewhere around the middle of the pack. So that's way different than when we're talking. It's crazy though that the one thing that is an indictment on him that Jaden Daniels as a rookie. I feel like it's just a common consensus that he's far better than Hurts, which is crazy. You don't usually see rookies jumping on the scene, and they're far better than guys that have been starting for 5 years.
Stroud also.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
In any case, though, I just want to make this very clear to people at home. I don't hate Jaden Daniels, but I do think the Eagles are going to win.
But
Okay,
you do
dude?
hate Mahomes.
I guess, yeah, I do.
But is
I
it
do
more
dislike him.
Mahomes or is it more Kelsey and Taylor Swift?
No, yeah, I dislike the whole.
But what
the
did
whole
what did
kit and caboodle,
Mahomes
dude.
do specifically?
He just
though?
doesn't like winners.
That's what I'm confused
No,
about.
no, it's not really has nothing to do with him winning.
It's his wife.
No, but I'm saying him specifically.
And
I
his
feel
brother?
like Mahomes, he doesn't talk trash. He's a respectful guy, like, and he balls
he
He
out.
can
seems
control
alright.
the family. I mean, he could control who he married.
Right.
which is
But,
First
tough.
of all,
I'm saying,
like,
but just
calm down with that,
Him
like-
as a person, I feel like he's not like talking shit.
Yeah, he's great.
And, like he just plays the game.
Yeah. What's
That's,
wrong with that?
That's why I'm a fan.
No,
honestly.
yeah, I mean he does play the game. That's great. I just think that like this year hasn't been his best year. I think there are better teams out there. I think there are better quarterbacks out there.
What happens if they three-peat? What are you gonna say?
What do you mean?
Are you gonna like believe that still? And he has like the best.
Believe what?
that he's trash.
Believe what?
That
I
you-
don't think he's trash. When did I say he's trash?
You said it.
Show me.
I'll go
Prove
find it. I'll go find it.
Because I'm fucking tired of these allegations, honestly.
I'll
dude.
go find it.
Fucking kidding me.
One thing I do remember Tony saying is last year before they won again, obviously
Mm-hmm.
back to back, is like, dude, like they're not gonna just keep winning Super Bowls. That's not how it works. He's obviously tight.
I mean, that isn't how it works. I mean, how many times has a team three-peated?
No, you're right. You're
I mean, that
absolutely
doesn't
right.
happen often. So, like, what the fuck are we talking
But it's
about?
just the fact that, I mean, let's be real though. They've won throughout the last 5 Super Bowls. They have been just winning Super Bowls like
Right.
that.
But I'm
is
sure you had the same sentiment when Tom Brady was winning all the Super Bowls with the Patriots. Probably the same thing. They're not going to just keep winning, dude, right?
What happened?
They stopped winning.
Not really.
Not really though. He won,
They won
7,
6,
and he won
and then
7.
they won 1 with the
Yeah.
Tampa Bay.
Are they winning right now?
He's not there.
Is he winning?
But
He is.
also,
No,
I, no,
he's
I
not
think-
winning.
The
I
contract
think-
with Fox,
I think
He sucks
Raiders.
as a commentator.
I think Mahomes is going to at least win 3 more. I really believe it.
Yeah, I mean,
And,
he's very
more
young,
than likely,
so, yeah.
they probably are going to win this year.
Yeah.
I mean, again, if you think about that team, and you know, I think that, and maybe it's more to it with this too. I mean, I have a huge amount of respect for Andy Reid.
Absolute legend.
Absolute
Such a legend.
dude. I mean, you know, to have
He should be your guy. I don't
this-
get it.
He is my guy. I mean, I have
Yeah,
nothing
especially the
against him.
So then why aren't you like the
cheeseburgers,
Chiefs?
too.
Because of Kelsey.
What the fuck, man? It's
It
not
is
that
Kelsey.
I don't
No, it is
like
Kelsey.
the
It is.
Chiefs.
No, it's
just
Kelsey.
like
I
no,
think
no, no.
it's Kelsey.
dude,
I
which is
think it's the
fine.
wife.
You guys fucking put words in
Brittany.
my mouth, and you cause
The
this
brother.
fucking nonsense, and you just want to agree with each other because you think it's funny. I never said I don't like the Chiefs. Do I think there are teams that are better out there?
Whoa. I don't know if you never
Or
said
sorry,
that you
hold
didn't
on.
like the
I
Chiefs.
didn't. No. I will stand by that. I don't like the Chiefs. Sure, I never said I didn't like that. Do I root against them for sometimes? Yeah, because I think there are better teams out there with
But
better
who's
chances
better
of
than
winning,
them right now?
dude. Who's Buffalo Bills?
You think so?
I do think so, which is why I just said that, Michael.
I don't know. I think you're scared.
What do you mean you don't know? I know that.
I think you're
that.
just projecting.
I
You're
think that,
scared.
dude.
You want them to be
So
better.
you think the Chiefs are the best team in the league?
But I also think if you root against
Why?
a team,
top to bottom?
Why?
They got everything.
Why? How?
Defense,
Who?
offense,
Who
and
on
then they got
defense
the best
specifically?
quarterback.
Who?
Chris Jones.
I didn't ask you, Brian.
You just said it. He knows what I'm gonna
In
say.
any
He
case,
said
dude. Yeah. Just no. Go ahead. Go on. I'm done. I mean, I don't got anything else to say. What do you want?
But also too, I think it's just tough for me to just look at any team and just being like, what other team can you say their quarterbacks got the ball? There's 90 seconds left, touchdown, field goal. It just seems like he does it every single time. Like I've just never seen it. There could be no timeouts. It doesn't matter. Like we just have it down, and then Bucker usually makes the kicks.
Yeah, and it
So-
sucks because that's what Tom Brady was like even though it was
But
tough to see.
I think Mahomes is better though.
Oh yeah,
I know he hasn't won as much, he hasn't played as long, so there's work to be done. But he's on that trajectory. It's amazing. So it'll be interesting to see. A couple other things here. Domac says Teslas in Brooklyn have $3 to $4 porchetta sandwiches
disgusting,
on
by the way.
Saturday.
Yeah.
So good. I never really had one. He also said rookie quarterback never won this far in the playoffs. 0-6, which is correct. And this is the first time that rookie quarterback doesn't have the top 5 defense. Washington was 18th in total defense this year. And then Michael also says says Tony doesn't like winners, but he hates Hurts when he just wins. But
When
I
has he
guess there's
won?
a difference between like regular season wins and winning a title. So I guess that would be the difference there. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I think the biggest thing is Saquon is the key. If they're gonna win, I think Saquon probably has to rush for 200 yards. What do you think?
we'll see. Is Hurts like what's up with his knee?
Yeah,
I mean, he's gonna play.
He's gonna play,
be
but probably a little
fine.
gimpy.
Maybe a little
Percocets?
gimpy.
Maybe Perkinson's.
I don't know what the protocol is there, but we've seen Hurts battle through injuries before the playoffs.
Percocets.
Could be. But still, I mean, yes, Saquon is gonna probably run for over 150. I mean, it's gonna happen, especially against that defense, I feel. But I think you're underestimating too. I mean, in big moments, we've seen Hurts connect with Brown before, so it's like, I mean, he still has that throw downfield, and I think that is kind of what separates a little bit Hurts from maybe what Michael thinks he is, because he does have that ability to swing that ball downfield, and he doesn't have to do it every time. That's why they have a great running back.
I haven't
and everything,
seen it.
So. Because you don't watch games.
I
dude.
do.
No, I see you like at my house on
I
the
haven't
couch.
seen him watch.
You're examining the inside of your eyelids, Michael. Okay, dude? That's what you do.
I don't sleep there. I sleep at the
Yes,
movies.
you do. No. Stop it, dude.
And then also Domac adds, I think Washington's D line is like bottom 10 this year. Yeah, so I mean he said he might run for 300, which seems a little nuts, but honestly,
I feel like
He's
a
almost
jinx.
done it this year.
Domac's
be.
a jinx.
could be.
I think he's not even gonna go for 100.
That's
now.
what you guys said about the Celtics last season, though.
I don't know though, but also the
No.
Saquon is ridiculous.
I know he
though.
is.
It's like I haven't.
I would hate to be a Giants fan.
He's literally like Jim Brown, honestly,
Yeah.
running in the 60s.
Tony
That's what it
Materiello.
is. So it's gonna be great.
Said
Obviously,
no
we'll
one
have a
ever.
great football show on Friday.
be a good one.
And if we get any hirings between now and then, we'll mention those
We're
as
gonna get
well.
hirings?
Tony always got
Jets.
my back. LOL. Your Jets still farting around though. Watch, they're gonna blow that whole situation.
You really
We'll
think
see.
so?
yeah.
I mean, I can see like later today. Breaking news: Aaron Glenn named head coach of the Saints.
He's
see
going
it.
there next, right?
Zach would like that.
Yeah, I would love that.
So be interesting though. Let's see. Also, do we have another edition of the Gaming Corner later?
Tonight, dude, yeah. 7 p.m. sharp. We're not fucking around.
We'll see.
No. It is going to be 7 p.m. I'll start. I don't care. Joey Green will be starting Red Dead Redemption. The storyline will continuing.
Michael Bucket in
Our
studio.
trick.
No.
Stomach
no.
virus.
No.
No, not. He's mad at me.
Is he really?
Yeah, I'll read a quote from him to me.
Really?
And then Domac might be mad about this. Matthew's saying wearing a Mets hat, shake my head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sid calls him a
that's
fake
tough.
Yankees fan.
Let me get to it. Hold on.
Wait, this is a text or no?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a text, dude.
Wow.
It's intense.
Because he doesn't want to believe that Hurley's going to leave. I have
Right.
inside sources.
Right.
He wants the Knicks job. He's always wanted it.
Yeah.
And he knew that the Lakers job was just shot.
Exactly.
Let me get it here. It's easier for me.
Domac saying that was the funniest show I did.
That was the funniest show in the last one.
Was it the last one?
No, I'm saying it's like we're not allowing him back.
I would allow him back.
No.
No, I am gonna.
I'm cutting the camera.
You can't cut the camera.
Oh, I will.
You're not here.
He said
Oh boy.
he's arguing with me about
Which this was like a back and forth for a little bit.
no, just like a
Couple
second.
texts? Okay.
I just bet him dinner
Okay.
that in the next 5 years
Mm-hmm.
he will. I mean, it's the end of the show, buddy. Who really cares with that?
What? Keep going. Like what the fuck?
In the next 5 years, Hurley, Knicks coach, because Thibs won't get the job done, and it's just like a down decline for them. But he gives me a quote that he did, for the Lakers job, and then he says, "Keep that in mind. You'll see for yourself. Just watch. He is never going to the NBA, and that is final. No more on this.
Wow, for Michael Bucka, that is aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is, dude.
And if he is listening somewhere, we love you, buddy.
Oh, yeah, I love him.
It just, sometimes everybody, me included, Michael, Zach, Tony, I mean, everybody needs to be checked at some point. That's just reality. And I was just going to ask you, Tony, before we go, what are you going to be playing for gaming?
Red Dead Redemption.
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
Did you get a chuckle? Because I think I popped out after I said it about I don't know. I think I said something like giddy up or something last time you were playing. Or you don't even probably remember me saying. Probably didn't read the comment.
No, I definitely read it.
Do you remember it or no?
Tony has a hard time remembering.
I mean, a comment a week ago from Brian. I mean, I got a lot of comments, dude. I'm sorry.
Wow. I think it's just the Mahomes thing is getting to him.
It is. It's
A lot of things today you guys were talking about is ridiculous. Trying to put words in my mouth. The offsides call, dude.
He was getting tight.
You don't like Billy Wagner.
Wait. Billy Wagner? Who said they didn't like Billy Wagner?
You were like, I was kind of surprised about that one.
Yeah. But when looking at it, I mean, the body works there. I guess, honestly, it was really Mets fans. I'm telling you, like, they were tight about Wagner. It wasn't anything with me. I don't have a problem with him. It seems like they were getting frustrated, but like you said, I think it was the time period that he was there was the problem, not him specifically.
Domac, by the way, says he was told to play Red Dead Redemption 2 first, and so far it's really good. I don't know why you play the second one first. I haven't played the second one, but I mean, I heard it's just phenomenal, dude.
And then Josh B says Bucket with the iron fist crying emoji. So obviously, that is.
He wouldn't bet me dinner, so I mean, he's scared.
Oh,
really? He wouldn't bet you dinner? He said no?
He wouldn't address that. He just is skipping that part.
Oh, maybe he's not a betting man.
I mean, it's just dinner.
Yeah.
And if he's so confident,
maybe he's worried his stomach will be on the fritz.
I can't handle this.
Maybe he doesn't like you that much.
Oh man. But funny stuff. Lots of laughs today. Good conversation. Good debate for sure.
That's for sure.
And great having Zach and Michael here for a good chunk of
Great
this
having
one.
Zach here.
Great.
But and everyone else. So we thank everybody for tuning in and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives of the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jane Costume, the merch at downtownTV.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, enjoy Gaming Corner, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.